Lawmakers have introduced the long-awaited income tax on millionaires. Well, House Majority Leader Joe Fitzgibbon says that money would help pay for education, health care, and community safety.
Real opportunity for a win-win-win for our state.
The House and Senate bills would levy a 9.9% tax on income above $1 million. Here's Republican Senate Leader John Braun.
Disappointed to see that. I think that goes absolutely in the wrong direction on affordability.
Governor Ferguson says on X he can't support it in its current form, but here's what he had to say.
Ferguson likes that the plan eliminates age limitations for the working family's tax credit, but he wants broader eligibility and more money. He likes the idea of small business tax relief. The plan calls for $104 million. He wants $1 billion. And he also wants more sales tax exemptions.
I remain confident that we'll get where we need to be. There's still plenty of time left in this legislative session.
Democratic state leaders say they know that the proposal, as it's written now, is not what's going to end up on the governor's desk, and negotiations continue. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
CBS mentioned President Trump has signed the bill to end the government shutdown, setting up talks in Congress to limit immigration enforcement. The spending package includes a stopgap measure to fund the Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Senator Patty Murray says if DHS wants any more money, Democrats' demands must be met.
End the roving patrols. Hold federal agents accountable and hold them to the same standards as local law enforcement on the basic things like use of force.
Democrats also want to ban federal agents from wearing masks and require body cameras. The rest of the spending package funds most of the government through September 30th. We now know the name of one of the two students shot and killed at a Rainier Valley bus stop Friday. The King County Medical Examiner's Office says 17-year-old Trovia Huffmouse died from gunshot wounds. They're still working to identify the other victim, both students at Rainier Beach High School. Seattle police say they believe the shooting was targeted, but they still don't have any suspects. If you know anything, you're asked to call the SPD tip line. Rescue divers pulled a man from the water in Tacoma last night. The News Tribune reports someone at the Fish Peddler restaurant heard him yelling for help in the Theophos waterway. Tacoma firefighters searched but couldn't find him. Then Pierce County Sheriff's dive teams arrived, found the man underwater, and brought him to shore. Crews started CPR and rushed him to the hospital. He's believed to be in his 20s, and he's in serious condition. Fantasizing about cheering on the Seahawks at the Super Bowl in person? Well, KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has been following ticket prices, which have fallen but are still kind of in ouch territory.
We found a pair of seats way up in the corner of Levi's Stadium, and the total cost is $4,000 each. But before you pull out your wallet, the service fee is more than $1,000, and these are the cheapest seats we could find.
Kickoff 3:30 Sunday afternoon. You'll hear all the action right here on KIRO News Radio. It's 5:13. That's time for a check on traffic on this early Wednesday morning. For that, we check in with Chris Sullivan. Good morning.
Service fee?
Service fee, $1,000.
Come on. Okay, well, I guess you got fans over a barrel. What are you going to do?
You know, yeah. And if you're spending that much, what's another $1,000? Crazy.
Yeah, not in my world.
All right.
Looking at the drive, we're looking really good. Not much action across the board on this early Wednesday morning. 35 minutes is all we really need to get between a lot of our destinations. 35 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. 35 Federal Way to Seattle. 35 Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's only 15. Lake Bridges are quiet. 18 and 16 look really good. Olympia to Tacoma, no issues for you guys. Not even anything through Nisqually. So 35 minutes or less to make it from Olympia to Tacoma. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to see more sunshine by the afternoon. Watch for the clouds this morning, but warming up to 60 today. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Morning clouds on Friday as well, and then sunshine pushing 60. Looks like we'll see a chance of showers returning on Saturday. Could be wet on Sunday as well. Right now, it is partly cloudy and 51 in Seattle. And coming up, our extended forecast from Scott Sistek at the Emerald City Weather Blog. How long can we expect these warm spring-like temperatures? We'll ask Scott coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
The G and Ursula Show.
Seattle is at the top of another list.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
We are officially the most expensive city to host a Super Bowl party. As it gets more and more expensive, do you do things like, hey,
potlucks are fun. Yeah, that's normal. I have friends that'll come over and they'll bring something. Yeah. And I also got those friends that either bring paper plates, or ice? Cornelius, I have him bring ice. He's a great ice guy.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
A new year means more than just a clean calendar. It's new goals, opportunities, and fresh momentum for your business. Are you with the right bank to set you up for success? WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, credit cards, lines of credit, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd offers the latest in payment processing and cash flow tools for just the right fit to meet your goals. Plus, WaFd Bank is an SBA preferred lender. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
Get ready, because it's here. The first huge public online auction of the year from James G. Murphy Company, February 5th through 10 a.m. Thursday, February the 12th. We're stacked and packed with a vast assortment of heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more, like 17 excavators, 6 dozers, including a 2012 John Deere 700K XLT, 4 wheel loaders, a grader, a 2021 Kenworth T270 propane delivery truck, a 2023 Volvo Auto Transporter, 6 Peterbilt 567 tractors, 6 dump trucks, forklifts, boom lifts, loaders, graders, and utility trucks. But wait, there's more. Like over 100 unused gas-powered excavators, flatbed trucks, and on and on. We are on fire with gear. Preview all items Tuesday and Wednesday, February 10th and 11th at our location in Marysville. Do not miss the first huge public online auction of the new year. Check MurphyAuction.com for all details. MurphyAuction.com.
John Curley here. We value things that last. Local businesses, relationships, community. That's Madrona Financial and CPAs. They've been serving Washington families for decades, combining taxes and investments under one roof. Most firms just do one or the other, but not both. That's why Madrona offers the Madrona Analysis, a simple review of income, taxes, and investments in one plan. Call 833-673-7373 for your complimentary Madrona Analysis. Madrona Financial and CPAs, local, trusted, and here to put the whole picture together.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
On Wednesdays, we check in with meteorologist Scott Sistek from the Emerald City Weather blog. Scott is joining us today, and it's been kind of a strange patch of weather, as I've been saying, Scott. Again today, it looks like it's going to be at least partly sunny, highs pushing 60. This doesn't seem normal.
It's not normal. It's not supposed to be this warm. Matter of fact, we'll be kind of getting close to our record highs for the day, which are in the low 60s. And I think Seattle will get over 60 today. It'll probably be 60, 61. It might go 62, 63. So, yeah, for the first week of February, I think, this is not, you're not supposed to see this till like March. Really.
Yeah,
we're supposed to still be in the 40s, maybe low 50s. So,
Seeing
definitely.
shoots out of plants and just stuff that should not be happening this time of year.
I don't want to start mowing my lawn yet.
No.
I'm supposed to have more time. I don't want, I'm not supposed to have till like March or April here. So
it is nice being able to get out and enjoy not, totally freezing conditions, not having to totally heat up your car in the morning. But I guess my concern is, first of all, what does this mean for our snowpack and water in the coming months?
It would be nice if we had a lot of snow up there, because then we could feel a little less guilty about having a nice stretch of days like this and be like, okay, there's plenty of snow up there. We can enjoy 60 degrees. But since it hasn't been a very good snow season, it's kind of making things more dicey. Already snowpack's only running about 50% of normal across most of the Cascades there. And of course, we're looking at this week, not a whole lot more. If anything, we're going to start melting off what little is there. I just looked at Snoqualmie. It has like about 26, 28 inches up there. They're running a good 40 inches behind even last year's pace, and that wasn't even a banner year for them either. So it's not good. We really could use some snow. If you want a spoiler alert, there is some optimism in the long range forecast. So maybe we can have a little bit of guilt-free 60-degree weather here if the long range forecast pans out here.
And what does that look like? Does that mean enough to make up for the deficit, or at least a little moderate improvement?
At least moderate improvement, I would say. So we're nice and warm the rest of this week. We don't see any rain, of course, till the weekend, like total Seattle. It's like, okay, have the nice day in the middle of the week. Let's have it rain on the weekends. But Saturday, Sunday, into next week, we go back to being wet and cooler. The pattern does change that now we're not getting these warm, Pineapple Express atmospheric river storms. They're kind of more the traditional out of the west northwest. They're cooler. Not going to like snow down here in the lowlands or anything, but we will get the snow levels down in the mountains to around 4,000 feet. Not super good, but better, and at least maybe getting some snow like around Stevens Pass. And then as we go beyond, it still looks kind of cool and wet. So I think we will start rebuilding our snowpack here. Just going to take a while.
At what point do you start getting nervous about us having enough snowpack for the warmer months?
If we were still like this in mid-March, like kind of April 1st is where we declare like the peak, like, okay, this is the most snow we're going to have up there. And now it's all the meltdown from here. So if this had gone, like this current weather pattern, if it had lasted like another 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, that would be concerning. I know we just had like that record dry stretch in January that, just nearly tied the record. So it will help. I would be worried if next week wasn't out there. But then again, we've been talking about this all winter long of like the cold air is always stuck 10 days out in the future here. And it just never gets cold. It never gets closer. So I feel like we're Lucy with the football every time. It's like, here we go. It's going to be colder. And then it's like, as it got closer, it went away or went east. I've seen plenty of cold air out there. Just all went east this year.
Well, speaking of football, let's take a look ahead to Super Bowl Sunday. Got the team down in Santa Clara. This is a big game for everybody. What does the forecast look like for game time?
Looks fine down there. It's like California, just as you'd expect. Looks like highs will be in the mid-60s, so right about kickoff time, 30-ish, somewhere in there. Should be pretty good. There'll be some fog around in the morning, but it'll get out of there pretty quick. So not really a game issue. Really don't expect weather to be much of an issue. So for the Seahawks, that's like somehow they will have miraculously gone the entire playoffs with like clear, calm winds, no weather impacts at all, as opposed to like the rest of the field. LA was in Chicago in the freezing, all these snow games, whatever. So Seattle really, kind of dodged winter there.
Yeah.
So it looks pretty good.
Okay, well, man, you are a man of science. You are a meteorologist. You are trained in forecasting things. What is your forecast for the score of the Seahawks games on Sunday?
Somebody asked me this earlier, and I felt like it should be 31-27 Seahawks to kind of flip the script of like what happened last time we played Patriots. I feel like, Seattle sports fan, long time, it pains me to like try and go with the favorite and hype up the Seattle teams, but I don't know, 31-10.
31-10, Seahawks.
But don't quote me on it.
All right, my friend. Well, we will check in with you next week, and we'll have a score, an outcome by then. We'll see how close you were.
Yeah, probably not. Very close. But hopefully closer on the weather.
Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com. Scott, thanks for your time this morning.
Sure thing. Thanks, Charlie.
It's 5:23. A check on our forecast for today. It's going to be warm, 60 in the sunshine for the afternoon. Get through some clouds this morning. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Friday, pretty much the same. Highs around 60. But then we're going to start to see some rain on Saturday. It looks like Sunday will be wet too. Right now it is cloudy and 51 in Seattle. And coming up on Seattle's Morning News, Chris Sullivan has a choke point looking at what's being done in Olympia to create more guardrails for commercial drivers. We'll get to that coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchie's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means...
when it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life.
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchie's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchie.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information. Find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Olympic Hot Tub is celebrating Seattle's championship football team and the big game day ahead with a massive blue and green savings blitz. Get champion level wellness at huge savings. Score big on saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges. Hey, it's Ryan Nolan-Smith. Let's make wellness and feeling terrific part of your everyday game plan. Don't let the clock run out. These winning deals end Sunday. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life. Go Seattle.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It is 5:31. Democratic state lawmakers are now officially proposing a 9.9% tax on people who make more than $1 million a year. Here's Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson.
We have a broken, upside-down tax system that we have been stuck with for 90 years. We have a generational opportunity in front of us to change that trajectory.
Republican Senate Leader John Braun.
As I read it, this is a tax that starts with a certain group, prioritizes past due entities, so very much, in my view, an attack on small and medium-sized businesses that are going to damage our economy.
Governor Ferguson says the proposal doesn't go far enough, but he says it's a good start.
We agree, for example, that our tax system is upside down. Washington ranks near the bottom for fairness and equality in our tax system.
But he says only 7% of the revenue would go directly back to taxpayers, and he's also pushing for $1 billion in small business tax relief, nearly 10 times what Democratic leaders have proposed. Police in Puyallup are investigating after a body was pulled from a lake at a local park. Officers were called to Bradley Lake Park yesterday for what they're calling a death investigation. Authorities say a body was found in the lake and believe it may have been there for some time. The park was temporarily closed while officers investigated, but it's since reopened. Officials say there is no danger there to the public. Eddie Bauer may be filing for bankruptcy again. The news stems from a report from a financial data firm called Octus, obtained by the Puget Sound Business Journal. It said Eddie Bauer would close its 200 retail locations, including the 11 here in Washington state. This comes after news of layoffs at its Seattle headquarters. Melinda Gates says her ex-husband Bill Gates needs to answer questions about his name appearing in the latest batch of Epstein files.
Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. And I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
She was speaking on NPR's Wildcard podcast. A spokesperson for Bill Gates says the claims are absolutely absurd and completely false. And with the Super Bowl just days away, Seahawks merchandise is becoming harder to find. The company says Seahawks fans are buying jerseys at nearly 4 times last year's pace, creating widespread shortages. KIRO 7 spoke with Seahawks superfan Christine Raquel, who says she's frustrated after days of searching for her son's favorite jersey.
Braden is 13. He's in 8th grade. This is the only thing he's been talking about all year that he's been wanting. K9, Kenneth Walker. I've been at the team store for 5 days in a row, and I've been coming to all these shops looking for it, and that particular jersey is so hard to find.
Yeah, employees say popular items are selling out almost immediately. Retailers advise fans to watch for restocks or expect higher prices on resale sites. Of course, I know you can hear the big game here on Sunday. 3:30 kickoff on KIRO News Radio. 5:33, let's check your drive once again on this early Wednesday. What's happening, Sully?
Well, did you hear Fanatics also got caught up in this yesterday? They had to put out an apology on X because they can't fill any orders.
Yeah.
And things that are coming in are misprinted and
Well, yeah, some of the logos
are all over the places. Yeah, so
they're scrambling.
Yeah, they are. Looking at the drive, we're not scrambling yet. We've got about a 40-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. We picked up a little action north of Highway 18, a little bit at the north end as well. But then Renton to Bellevue, you'll pick up the pace. 15 minutes there. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 minutes. No problems for you guys, and nothing from Olympia to Tacoma yet. Coming down from the north end, we're about 15 minutes away from the start of the slow slowing near Northgate. Right now, though, wide open. Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, 35 minutes. The lake bridges are in fine shape. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast for the next few days, clouds in the morning, some sunshine by afternoon, and pushing 60 right on through Friday. Overnight lows in the low 40s, and then Saturday, it looks like that's when we're going to start to see some rain around here again, with highs back to the mid-50s. It's 51 and cloudy in Seattle right now.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
At 648, truck drivers and trucking companies could see one of their registration fees double under a bill being considered in the legislature. Sully's here with the details.
The legislature wants to make sure that people behind the wheel of big rigs have the best possible training and continuing education if they want it. House Bill 2410 would double the commercial vehicle safety enforcement fee from $16 to $32. The money would be earmarked for safety and training. The bill would also create a new Safety and Education Council to oversee big rigs and training. This comes after several high-profile truck crashes that damaged bridges and overpasses in our state, and multiple crashes involving drivers without commercial driver's licenses at all. State Representative Jake Fye is sponsoring the legislation.
The safety implications are very good. If we have better educated truck drivers, we're all safer, and also we also benefit from fewer truck accidents.
Representative Fye says the State Trucking Association actually came to him with the idea.
I was very pleased that the Washington Trucking Association came to me and are willing to voluntarily, for lack of a better word, tax themselves to provide more training and education for people driving with commercial driver's licenses.
Under current law, only Washington residents can be issued a Washington CDL. That would not change under this legislation. Jason McFadden runs Lutke Pacific Trucking in Bellingham, also in favor of the increase.
As a trucking company owner, I think it's a small fee to put on something where it has not been raised since 2007 for highway safety. The trucking industry is lacking safety and education, and this is the most crucial piece of keeping our economy flowing and getting necessities delivered.
But State Representative Ed Orcutt raised this question.
Of the bridge strikes and of the truck accidents, how many of those were in-state drivers versus out-of-state drivers?
Unfortunately, no one had the answer offhand. They're looking into it. Several of the recent truck crashes, including the one that took out the Bullfrog overpass at Cle Elum, had out-of-state drivers behind the wheel. This legislation does not address safety concerns for out-of-state drivers or the CDL mills that we've talked about or have been prosecuted in our state. It also doesn't address the rash of drivers who are being stopped without proper CDLs or have trouble with English, which has become a very focal point of what's happening federally. But it is a way to try to give more education to local drivers to hopefully improve safety of those massive trucks that are going down the roads.
So where do we go from here?
Well, it seems to have some support. It's had a hearing. We haven't heard across in the Senate Transportation as of yet. I know as we're talking about today's cutoff day, but this would change some money and does have a financial attachment to it. So that could mean it can survive. But yeah, it's just one of the key issues of Representative Fye in this short session. He said he wanted to do something to improve commercial truck driving in the state, and this is where he thought he should put his focus.
Okay, well, Sully, we had State Senator Curtis King on the show with us. By the way, check that out. It's on the podcast, which is on mynorthwest.com. He's a leading Republican on the Transportation Committee in the Senate.
Yep.
And we talked to him about car tabs and one of these proposals in the state legislature to basically allow agents to go into private parking lots and issue car tab fines there. Just a broader picture, if I may. What did you make of that conversation we had with him?
I think at its core, it goes down to something that I think a lot of us can agree on, that we should pay our tabs. Right. In a
Don't
society.
listen to read my replies on Twitter. I
know.
thought that too.
In our society, we should pay what we're supposed to pay. Now, I get it. I don't think his answer satisfied a lot of people when he said, well, we do have $30 car tabs just like we voted for. Mm-hmm. But then the legislature allowed the state and even municipalities to add things on top of that. Fees and fees. So you may get a $30 tab, but then there's all this other stuff tacked on. And I see where people are kind of tired of it, especially with how much it costs for the Sound Transit RTA in the 3-county area. Some of those, some people can't even afford to pay their tabs, especially coming out of the pandemic. I think there's a way to handle it that doesn't allow them to ticket your car in a private place. But I think we all should try to pay our tabs. I'm a law and order kind of guy. Yeah. That seems like a simple thing to ask. But I understand the other side of the coin.
It's now 5:40. This is Seattle's Morning News, and we have national headlines coming up on KIRO News Radio.
We are going to the Super Bowl! And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, KIRO News Radio.
Get ready, because it's here. The first huge public online auction of the year from James G. Murphy Company, February 5th through 10 a.m. Thursday, February the 12th. We're stacked and packed with a vast assortment of heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more, like 17 excavators, 6 dozers, including a 2012 John Deere 700K XLT, 4 wheel loaders, a grader, a 2021 Kenworth T270 propane delivery truck, a 2023 Volvo Auto Transporter, 6 Peterbilt 567 tractors, 6 dump trucks, forklifts, boom lifts, loaders, graders, and utility trucks. But wait, there's more. Like over 100 unused gas-powered excavators, flatbed trucks, and on and on. We are on fire with gear. Preview all items Tuesday and Wednesday, February 10th and 11th at our location in Marysville. Do not miss the first huge public online auction of the new year. Check murphyauction.com for all details. murphyauction.com.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
CBS News Brief. An urgent search continues in Arizona for Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, who was reported missing Sunday. FBI Special Agent John Edwards.
Every lead and tip is important. We are aggressively pursuing and looking into every single one.
They hope a ransom note will provide clues. U.S. officials say a Navy jet shot down an Iranian drone that was aggressively approaching a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
The White House said already scheduled nuclear talks with the Iranians are still going ahead as scheduled. Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff is expected to meet with Iranian officials on Friday.
President Trump has signed a bill ending the partial government shutdown, and it only funds Homeland Security for 9 days. Democrats like Pete Aguilar demanding changes at ICE.
Body cameras must be required by law, and masks must come off. Judicial warrants are a requirement, not a suggestion.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
A check on the forecast. We'll see some clouds this morning, but sunshine again in the afternoon and warm today, headed for a high of 60. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Friday does too, maybe just a tad cooler. Overnight lows will be in the low 40s. And then here comes the rain again for Saturday, and looks like Sunday as well. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 51. Coming up, an end to the government shutdown and the beginning of backlash to a call for nationalized local elections. We'll get all the latest from CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, a well-insulated attic can be your home's secret weapon. Upgrading attic insulation is a cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It also helps keep your home warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Better insulation equals better air quality, less moisture, and no mold, improving the air quality you and your family breathe. Call now for $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation, and visit us at guardianroofing.com.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. Save $1,700 when you have Day and Night match your current furnace with a qualifying AC or heat pump.
Your furnace is lonely all by itself, but it doesn't have to be. With our Matchmaker Special, we'll match your furnace with a perfect air conditioner or heat pump to keep your furnace company and your home comfy all year round.
Match your furnace to a qualifying cooling system and save $1,700.
DayandNight.net. Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
It is 5:47. Good morning. Along with Charlie Harger, I'm Manda Factor. And an end to the government shutdown. Also a call for nationalized local elections.
Let's get the latest from CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Good morning, Nancy. Let's begin with the shutdown ending. What's the story here?
Yeah, the shutdown is over. Congress has voted. The president has signed it into law. And that means that the government is going to be funded, most of it anyway, through September. The one caveat is that there is a 2-week deadline now for Democrats and Republicans to negotiate over some reforms to immigration enforcement operations. We're talking about those ICE operations that have gotten so much attention in Minneapolis and elsewhere. And if they can't reach a deal within that 2-week period, then funding for DHS would get cut off, and you'd see a shutdown at the Department of Homeland Security for things like the TSA and the Coast Guard. So these are very important components of our national security. But ICE would continue to operate because there was separate funding that was allotted to it in the big, beautiful bill last year. But that's what everyone's going to be paying attention to for the next couple of weeks. Can Democrats and Republicans find some kind of common ground on ICE tactics?
Just curious, why 2 weeks? It seems like that's not a lot of time for something like this.
Right, and that was by design because Democrats wanted to put a lot of pressure on Republicans to come to the table right away. There were some Democrats who said, let's not even give them 2 weeks. We want changes right away to what we're seeing on the ground in Minneapolis in exchange for our votes to fund the government. But in the end, Democratic leadership prevailed and kind of reached this compromise within their party that, okay, we will allow most of the government to be funded so that it can open back up so we don't have major disruptions, but we're going to put this very tight timeline in place so Republicans have to negotiate with us right away. And interestingly, Republicans were willing to abide by that because you have a lot of Republicans who are troubled by what they've seen as well.
Nancy, the other big headline this morning is the president calling for Republicans to nationalize elections in the states. Can you explain what that means?
I think a lot of us are wondering exactly what it means. I think on the face of it, what he's basically saying is that his administration should take over state and local elections in places where he believes there has been fraud. And conveniently, all of those places are places where he lost in 2020. He listed some of them yesterday: Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta, despite the fact that those claims of voter fraud have always been debunked. They've gone to court. They have been thrown out. And he's now saying he thinks Republicans should take over in that area, which would be unconstitutional because the Constitution says that states run elections. The White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, tried to walk it back and say, oh, no, he's just talking about wanting national voter ID requirements, so everyone has to get voter ID. He doesn't really want to take over state and local elections. But President Trump, a couple of hours later, made it clear that that is what he thinks should happen. He was talking about it in the Oval Office. He didn't go as far as to say he's going to order it or that he's going to attempt to do it. But the fact that he's even talking about it at all has been alarming, to say the least, to Democrats who say that this is a predicate to him trying to tamper in some way with the upcoming midterm elections this year or the presidential election in 2 years.
How are Republicans reacting to this idea?
There's a mix. You've got some Republicans saying flat out that, no, the states run elections. It would be unconstitutional for the federal government to get involved in the way that the president is suggesting. But then you've got others like the Republican House Speaker, Mike Johnson, who's saying, that they understand the president's frustration and that he's simply venting, and that what he really wants is for elections to be more secure and have more integrity. And they are pushing this bill called the SAVE Act that would impose requirements for voter ID across the country. That is a bill that is right now opposed by Democrats who say protections already exist for to make sure that the wrong people aren't voting in elections. And they say that they fear that if there was a nationwide requirement for voter ID, then some marginalized communities would see their numbers of voters drop. So this is a debate that continues to rage on Capitol Hill, and meanwhile the president is getting more aggressive in his arguments that the federal government needs to take over some elections.
And just real quick, Nancy, while we have you at the White House, is there any indication who the president is supporting in the Super Bowl, or perhaps the administration? We have the Seahawks taking on the Patriots. Is there a clear indicator?
I don't know that he's said, but he is good friends with Robert Kraft, who is the owner of the Patriots. In fact, Kraft was in his box with him this weekend at the screening of the Melania movie at the Kennedy Center. They are longtime friends. So, that could suggest that the president is going to side with him. But no indication right now that he's going to go there and root for the Patriots.
How about you, Nancy?
Yeah. You're on the area in Seattle.
I'm a West Coast girl. I'm, from Hawaii originally. And so
good answer.
I'm feeling good about the Seahawks' chances this year.
Awesome.
They're looking amazing.
CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes, thanks so much. Enjoy the game.
Good luck.
It's
okay,
5:54 now. And that's time for a check on the weather. We're seeing clouds this morning, sunshine by afternoon, 60 the high for today. Same deal tomorrow, overnight lows around 40. Friday, clouds in the morning and sunshine by afternoon, 58 our high. Looks like a pretty wet weekend on tap Saturday and Sunday. Rain will pick up 54 and only 51 on Sunday, back to closer to normal temperatures. Right now it is cloudy and 51 in Seattle. And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey gets us ready for Super Bowl 60, less than a week away from kickoff. Also, New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold. Actually, that was yesterday, and I was gone yesterday. That is okay. But we do have Luke Ducey talking Hawks, and, that's got us all a little confused around here this week, doesn't it? I'm distracted. Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas at mynorthwest.com. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
The G and Ursula Show.
We going to the Super Bowl.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
I have been told about Woodstock and how it was just peace, love, and hair grease. That was the energy amongst Seahawk fans everywhere.
People were doubting Sam Darnold. He had the game of his lifetime.
At the game of his life. He won 14 games with the Minnesota Vikings last season, and he won 14 games with the Seahawks this season.
Subscribe to the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel and watch live. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Get ready, because it's here. The first huge public online auction of the year from James G. Murphy Company, February 5th through 10 a.m. Thursday, February the 12th. We're stacked and packed with a vast assortment of heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more, like 17 excavators, 6 dozers, including a 2012 John Deere 700K XLT, 4 wheel loaders, a grader, a 2021 Kenworth T270 propane delivery truck, a 2023 Volvo Auto Transporter, 6 Peterbilt 567 tractors, 6 dump trucks, forklifts, boom lifts, loaders, graders, and utility trucks. But wait, there's more. Like over 100 unused gas-powered excavators, flatbed trucks, and on and on. We are on fire with gear. Preview all items Tuesday and Wednesday, February 10th and 11th at our location in Marysville. Do not miss the first huge public online auction of the new year. Check murphyauction.com for all details. murphyauction.com.
Here's a tale of Tina searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags in a red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hotfoot at goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Free consultation at HomeComfortAlliance.com. For comfort, call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
4 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Label call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Today Show's Savannah Guthrie and her family are still waiting in anguish for a breakthrough in their 84-year-old mother's abduction in Arizona last weekend. Law enforcement officials are hoping the ransom note we found out about yesterday will lead them to Nancy Guthrie. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti asked Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos.
Is there anything in that note that seems credible at this moment that you're giving weight to?
The entire note.
So you're not dismissing this note at this point?
Absolutely not.
Former FBI Special Agent Doug Coons has his doubts.
Anybody can send in a ransom note and say, yeah, it was us, and we want these millions of dollars in crypto, and you just can't assume that that is accurate.
This is sentencing day for Ryan Ruth, the man convicted of an assassination attempt on then presidential candidate Donald Trump on a golf course in Florida in 2024. Legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
The court will hear arguments regarding the appropriate sentencing range and will consider the nature and circumstances of the offense, the need for deterrence, protection of the public, respect for the law.
Federal prosecutors are asking for life in prison. Democrats say they're alarmed as President Trump doubles down on calls to nationalize elections. He specifically cited districts he lost in 2020. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is at the White House.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
Trump then listed a number of Democrat-led cities like Detroit and Atlanta, where he thinks the federal government should step in.
Look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections, and the federal government should not allow that. The federal government should get involved.
The Pentagon is threatening to end its partnership with Scouting America.
The Pentagon says the group formerly known as the Boy Scouts needs to make core value reforms. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is upset the Scouts started allowing girls to join 2 years ago.
See, this is an institution the left didn't control. They didn't want to improve it. They wanted to destroy it or dilute it into something that stood for nothing.
Without the military support, the Scouts could lose some meeting spaces and lose the hundreds of troops who are expected to provide security and logistical support at the Scouts National Jamboree this year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Bill Gates speaking out after his name appeared in the last batch of documents released from the Jeffrey Epstein files. The Microsoft founder tells Australia's 9 News he did not take part in Epstein's abuse of teenage girls.
The more that comes out, the more clear it'll be.
Sumo citrus.
That although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Dow futures are up 132. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
6:03 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we're doing okay to start this Wednesday morning, though we have started to see the backups appearing in Northgate on southbound I-5 as we do with the loss of the express lanes during the morning commute. There's also some pretty heavy backing up getting through the Linwood Mill Creek interchange area. Overall, we're at 40 minutes from Everett into Seattle, about 35 from Everett into Bellevue. So not too bad. Under 40 from Federal Way to Seattle, about 40 from Puyallup up to Renton. The brake lights there, a little north of Auburn, working your way up towards Kent, and then you have a steady line in the ramp meter trying to get up to northbound 405. But once you're on 405, the Renton to Bellevue drive is only 17 minutes, so we're really good there. 18, 16 looking pretty good. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. The lake bridges are wide open. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Washington lawmakers have introduced the long-awaited income tax on millionaires.
House Majority Leader Joe Fitzgibbon says that money would help pay for education, health care, and community safety.
We think this is a real opportunity for a win-win-win for our state.
The House and Senate bills would levy a 9.9% tax on income above $1 million. Republican Senate Leader John Braun.
Disappointed to see that. I think that goes absolutely in the wrong direction on affordability.
Governor Ferguson says the tax proposal is a good start, but he can't support it as written.
Ferguson likes that the plan eliminates age limitations for the working family's tax credit, but he wants broader eligibility and more money. He likes the idea of small business tax relief. The plan calls for $104 million. He wants $1 billion. And he also wants more sales tax exemptions.
I remain confident that we'll get where we need to be. There's still plenty of time left in this legislative session.
Democratic state leaders say they know that the proposal, as it's written now, is not what's going to end up on the governor's desk, and negotiations continue. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
President Trump has signed the bill to end the government shutdown, setting up talks in Congress to limit immigration enforcement. The spending package includes a stopgap measure to fund the Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Senator Patty Murray says if DHS wants any more money, Democrats' demands must be met.
End the roving patrols. Hold federal agents accountable and hold them to the same standards as local law enforcement on the basic things like use of force.
Democrats also want to ban federal agents from wearing masks and require body cameras.
A case involving contraband at a juvenile facility now under investigation. The Department of Children, Youth, and Family says a marijuana pen and possible methamphetamines were found at a Green Hill staffer's workstation earlier this week. The agency notified the Chehalis Police Department, which is now investigating. The employee is on administrative leave.
A Pierce County family's home is also home to 27 cats. Problem is, Pierce County Code only allows 5 in a home that size. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
By all accounts, all 27 cats are well cared for, well fed, and in good veterinary health. They just have too many and have been given 1 week to find homes for 22 or animal control will seize them. Here's Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
We have essentially an illegal animal operation going on inside of the home, whether they were aware that they were doing that or not.
The deadline is this Thursday. The county is working with the family to give them time to come into compliance. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Wow, Blue Wednesday.
Yes,
February
indeed.
4th. Great to have you here, Manda. You've got a great-looking sweatshirt on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's got
the hat.
The old
matches.
school Hawks logo. You got a Seahawks hat. I've got the Costco special with my Seahawks merch today.
Very nice.
I'm noticing the contraband, the counterfeit tents have popped up everywhere in the South End. You notice none of them have the logos on it.
It's getting really hard to find gear.
Yeah. In fact, I think we have a story a little bit later that one of the main manufacturers is apologizing.
They're making a mess of things.
They can't make
the patches
make it fast
are in the
enough.
wrong places and everything. Anyway.
All right. Well, it is all of us getting ready for the Super Bowl. I have coverage throughout the week. G. Scott is down in Santa Clara, and Luke Ducey is heading down after the show today. So a lot of fun ahead of Sunday's big game.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Okay, so how long can we expect these unseasonably warm temperatures? We'll speak with Scott Sistek at the Emerald City Weather Blog.
Also, an update on the desperate search for Nancy Guthrie in Arizona. We'll get the latest from News Nation correspondent, law and justice contributor Jennifer Coffendaffer, a special agent with the FBI.
Okay, Super Bowl 60, Seahawks showdown with the Patriots. Today we are celebrating the 12s, your passion, your noise, and how you have inspired the team.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to kick us off.
And you're listening to music from the Quamonks tribe in British Columbia this morning because it's a great starting place for all of us. Check out the YouTube channel as well, because here is, you'll see it on there, the Hawks logo next to the inspiration for the Hawks logo. There would be no 12s, no Seahawks without the First Nations culture that created this incredible logo that we all love. Inside his studio on Vancouver Island, Andy Everson uses his art to keep his culture alive.
Deemed to be evil by the church, deemed to be pagan by the Canadian government.
And today, this grandson of a great Quamox chief is reclaiming that history through his work. From colorful prints of the place his ancestors called the Land of Plenty to painting indigenous masks in Seahawks colors.
Kind of meshing all these worlds together for me.
But there's another mask that stands out to Andy more than most. An eagle mask, tracked down by the Burke Museum 3,200 miles away at the University of Maine. Its curved mouth and beak and prominent eye match the Seahawks logo almost perfectly.
Essentially, they just traced the outline and certain elements of that to create the original Seahawks logo.
And it has deep connections.
As Indigenous peoples, we're connected to all of the animals in the land because our people are descended from those animals, is our beliefs.
In 2014, the year the Hawks went to back-to-back Super Bowls, Andy was invited to dance alongside the glass-encased Indigenous mask at the Burke.
And for me, yeah, it's about connecting with our ancestors. It's about continuing traditions.
However, Andy's story doesn't end there.
Goes back inside. Cup makes the catch. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Up until the Hawks' most recent NFC championship, Andy had never attended a single game. He and his wife, Erin, sat down in front, right behind the end zone.
The noise was kind of out of this world.
It was a moment that bridged two worlds and strengthened Andy's commitment to preserve his culture and honor his past.
The strength of our culture nowadays is a testament to the strength of our ancestors.
It was so cool that the Burke Museum actually tracked down the mask at the University of Maine, brought it back to Seattle. They had a ceremony years and years ago. Amazing story. But coming up at 6:30, now that we kicked off the celebration of the 12s, if you're a 12, you got to have the right swag. I love the swag here in the studio. So many new cool designs out there. We'll touch on that coming up.
Okay, thank you, Luke. Well, former Seahawks quarterback Matt Hasselbeck has some advice for the team as they head into the Super Bowl. Bring your A game.
This is the Super Bowl, and you better bring it with everything you got, or you're going to go home feeling, listen, I lost Super Bowl 40 to a wild card team that people said shouldn't have been there.
Hasselbeck tells G and Ursula, it doesn't matter that the Seahawks were the number one seed in the NFC. They cannot write off the New England Patriots, have a great defense and an offense with a lot of upside.
Well, are you fantasizing about cheering on the Seahawks at the Super Bowl in person? KIRO 7 TV's Lindsay Sheldon has been following ticket prices, which have fallen but are still in ouch territory.
We found a pair of seats way up in the corner of Levi's Stadium, and the total cost is $4,000 each. But before you pull out your wallet, the service fee is more than $1,000, and these are the cheapest seats we could find.
How difficult can it be to process an order for tickets? $1,000 fee?
You know, if people are willing to pay it, they're going to charge it.
Yeah, I guess.
We wouldn't, you know who we wouldn't charge a $1,000 fee?
Probably Nick Allard.
Yeah, Nick Allard, you are a man I would only charge $900 as a fee.
I mean, that's better than $901.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait. Well, there's a service fee on top of that.
Well, there should be. Yeah. I mean, there's a hair fee.
Yeah.
It all makes sense to me. This morning we have a lot of cloud cover, and we are going to see a little bit of fog and maybe even some patchy areas of mist. The fog, for the most part, will be in the South Sound or maybe closer to, say, Port Angeles. I'm not really expecting to see much. We just have a lot of clouds, and it's mild. You know, right now we're hanging around 49 in Seattle. That is your statistical high temperature. You're an average high temperature for today. So the point is, it's already warm, and we're going to finish from 54 yesterday up to about 60 or so today, with a lot of sunshine increasing later today. So clouds early, still mostly cloudy at noon, and then we go with partly cloudy to mostly sunny this afternoon. We just have to wait a little while. Tomorrow, it's the same idea, just not as much cloud cover. We get to about 60 and mostly sunny, and we see a little more cloud cover Friday, so we'll just lower the temps a little bit, but it's 60 today, it's 60 tomorrow, and it's about 58 to 60 on Friday. And then I think you're going to go for some much cooler weather Saturday in the mid-50s with some increasing rain during the day, and then you'll find some rain that's widespread on Sunday, and temperatures hanging around the low 50s. Looks like next week we're going to go from all these days well above normal normal to, below average, and snow levels by Monday could even be back to, say, like 3,000 feet or lower, which is awesome because while there isn't a lot of moisture till late in the week, anything that falls then would be snow in the mountains, and that's exactly what we want to have for this time of year.
All right, Nick, right now we have clouds in Seattle. It's 50.
And time once again for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes for you. What's up, Sully?
Well, I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers. Let me know what you're seeing on southbound 405 away from Linwood, right around Damson Road. We've kind of gone all red there, and I've got a report of a crash. Haven't been able to find it on my cameras, but I could use a little help there. Let me know what you're seeing because we're definitely seeing an impact. We're up over 40 minutes from Everett into Bellevue. Well, about 45 from Everett to Seattle as we're starting to see a steady. Most of Pierce County's quiet. Olympia to Tacoma's only 35 minutes. The lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's home show season. Lake Washington Windows and Doors giving you 20% off plus 12 months same as cash financing. Visit them at the home shows or at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
On Wednesdays, we check in with meteorologist Scott Sistek from the Emerald City Weather blog. Scott is joining us today, and it's been kind of a strange patch of weather, as I've been saying, Scott. Again today, it looks like it's going to be at least partly sunny, highs pushing 60.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem normal.
It's not normal. It's not supposed to be this warm. Matter of fact, we'll be kind of getting close to our record highs for the day, which are in the low 60s, and I think Seattle will get over 60 today. It'll probably be 60, 61. It might go 62, 63. So, yeah, for the first week of February, I think, this is not, you're not supposed to see this till like March, really.
Yeah,
We're supposed to still be in the 40s, maybe low 50s. So, yeah, definitely.
Shoots out of plants and just stuff that should not be happening this time of year.
I don't want to start mowing my lawn yet. No. I'm supposed to have more time. I don't want, I'm not supposed to have till like March or April here. So.
It is nice being able to get out and enjoy not, totally freezing conditions, not having to totally heat up your car in the morning. But I guess my concern is, first of all, what does this mean for our snowpack and water in the coming months?
It would be nice if we had a lot of snow up there, because then we could feel a little less guilty about having a nice stretch of days like this and be like, okay, there's plenty of snow up there. We can enjoy 60 degrees. But since it hasn't been a very good snow season, it's kind of making things more dicey. Already, snowpack's only running about 50% of normal across most of the Cascades there. And of course, we're looking at this week, not a whole lot more. If anything, we're going to start melting off what little is there. I just looked at Snoqualmie. It has like about 26, 28 inches up there. They're running a good 40 inches behind even last year's pace. And that wasn't even a banner year for them either. So it's not good. We really could use some snow. If you want a spoiler alert, there is some optimism in the long range forecast. So maybe we can have a little bit of guilt-free 60-degree weather here if the long range forecast pans out here.
And what does that look like? Does that mean enough to make up for the deficit, or at least a little moderate improvement?
At least moderate improvement, I would say. So we're nice and warm the rest of this week. We don't see any rain, of course, till the weekend, like total Seattle. It's like, okay, have the nice day in the middle of the week. Let's have it rain on the weekends. But Saturday, Sunday, into next week, we go back to being wet and cooler. The pattern does change that now we're not getting these warm, Pineapple Express atmospheric river storms. They're kind of more the traditional out of the west-northwest. They're cooler. Not going to like snow down here in the lowlands or anything, but we will get the snow levels down in the mountains to around 4,000 feet. Not super good, but better, and at least maybe getting some snow like around Stevens Pass. And then as we go beyond, it still looks kind of cool and wet. So I think we will start rebuilding our snowpack here. Just going to take a while.
At what point do you start getting nervous about us having enough snowpack for the warmer months?
If we were still like this in mid-March, like kind of April 1st is where we declare like the peak, like, okay, this is the most snow we're going to have up there. And now it's all the meltdown from here. So if this had gone, like this current weather pattern, if it had lasted like another 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, that would be concerning. I know we just had like that record dry stretch in January that, just nearly tied the record. So it'll help. I would be worried if next week wasn't out there. But then again, we've been talking about this all winter long of like the cold air is always stuck 10 days out in the future here. And it just never gets cold and never gets closer. So I feel like we're Lucy with the football every time. It's like, here we go. It's going to be colder, going to be colder. And then it's like, oh, the got closer, it went away or went east. I've seen plenty of cold air out there, just all went east this year.
Well, speaking of football, let's take a look ahead to Super Bowl Sunday. Got the team down in Santa Clara. This is a big game for everybody. What does the forecast look like for game time?
Looks fine down there. It's like California, just as you'd expect. Looks like highs will be in the mid 60s, so right about kickoff time, 30-ish, somewhere in there. Should be pretty good. There'll be some fog around in the morning, but it'll get out of there pretty quick. So not really a game issue. Really don't expect weather to be much of an issue. So for the Seahawks, that's like somehow they will have miraculously gone the entire playoffs with like clear, calm winds, no weather impacts at all, as opposed to like the rest of the field. LA was in Chicago in the freezing, all these snow games and whatever. So Seattle really, kind of dodged winter there. So
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So you have been going through some of the numbers over recent years for Super Bowl Sundays. I remember a Super Bowl Sunday where we had snow in the Seattle area, but
Yeah.
what did you find for Emerald City Weather blog that you might find interesting for people listening right now?
I wanted to go back because we've always talked about, well, could Seattle ever host a Super Bowl? And it's sort of like, well, February is not the best time for it in our weather pattern. It's an outdoor stadium. And I looked, and of the 24 Super Bowls going back to when Lumen Field opened in 2002, it's rained on 14 of them. So that's 58%. The NFL's not going to be too happy with that. Only 3 of them were like washouts where it was like raining all day, probably some sort of Pineapple Express that was warm and wet. And then another 4 were kind of like wet, but Seattle rainy, so not too bad. So I don't know. And the high temperature, the average high was 49. There was one where it was like in the 30s. That's probably the one you were thinking of.
Yeah.
But most of the days, it would probably just be kind of Seattle gray, drizzly, rainy. So I don't think, Roger Goodell and the NFL people are going to be like, ooh, but hey, the one the Seahawks won in New York, they were tempting fate having it outdoors in the Meadowlands. And they had that big snowstorm like the day after the Super Bowl. Like they were 24 hours from a mess in that game. So they've done it before.
That would be memorable. Why not?
It would be memorable. Let's do it. They've had Super Bowls in the rain before. They've all been in Florida, but let's try a Seattle rain one. Like add a little bit of, Seattle lore to it. Of course, in that year, it would probably be like LA versus Miami or some such, like they're all the warm teams that wouldn't be used to it and be a mess. But
Okay, well, man, you are a man of science. You are a meteorologist. You are trained in forecasting things. What is your forecast for the score of the Seahawks?
Oh, goodness.
On Sunday?
Somebody asked me this earlier, and I felt like it should be 31-27 Seahawks to kind of flip the script of like what happened last time we played Patriots. I feel like, Seattle sports fan, a long time, it pains me to like try and go with the favorite and hype up the Seattle teams, but I don't know, 31-10.
31-10 Seahawks.
Ugh. But don't quote me on it.
Oh, Scott,
Don't
we're
come
going
after me.
that. We'll put this on YouTube, on the radio, everywhere. Scott guarantees 31-10 Seahawks blowout. I think you're jinxing it, Scott. I would have said that if I was
I should be saying the Patriots are going to win.
Oh, the reverse jinx.
3 reverse straight. Yeah, 24-3 Patriots, and just like then it's not Scott's fault. But don't come after me. I'm nervous. I am a nervous Seattle fan. We've been through the pain of Seattle sports lore. We're still getting over George Springer with the Mariners. At least I am. So
you know what? Hope springs eternal, Scott.
Yes.
Much like the weather. All right, my friend. Well, we will check in with you next week, and we'll have a score, an outcome by then. We'll see how close you were.
Yeah, probably not. Very close. But hopefully closer on the weather.
Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com. Scott, thanks for your time this morning.
Sure thing. Thanks, Charlie.
All right. If it's 31-27, it's been lovely working with you because I will have a heart attack on Sunday.
And Scott's body language when we recorded that video is like, it was so fun to just watch him really trying to stop the jinx.
Okay. I'll take 31-10.
Okay.
That sounds good to me. All right, it's 6:23. We need to check the drive. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. And here's Chris Sullivan.
And I'm still hunting for a crash on southbound 405 away from Linwood, not quite to Canyon Park. It could just be volume. I haven't been able to find anything on my cameras, but we have 45 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, a matching 45 from Everett to Seattle. So behind schedule by about 10 minutes at this early hour. Coming the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle has brake lights past the Kent Des Moines Road, so a little slower there than you might expect. A little over 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. 45 45, maybe a little bit more now from Puyallup to Renton. Brake lights right there at Sumner, a little bit at Highway 18 and at the north end, and then Renton to Bellevue is running right around 20. Lake bridges are still in fine shape. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes. Not much action for you guys today. 18 and 16 continue to look good. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
At our forecast, you're going to see clouds this morning, but sunshine again by afternoon and warm. 60 for today and tomorrow. Pretty much the same deal on Friday. Looks like we'll start to see some rain on Saturday. It's 51 in Seattle right now. And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the preps for Super Bowl 60, how you can find the right swag. Also, your opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
6:24 now, a commercial word here. Let me ask you something. After decades of working, saving, you're doing everything right? How much of your retirement will really go to taxes? More than you think if you're not careful. Do you really want to pay 30, maybe 40% of what you've saved? If you're thinking there's got to be a better way, I'm here to tell you there is, but it does take some planning. The secret strategies wealthy families use to reduce their tax burden isn't really a secret. And if you've saved more than $300,000, the strategy could work for you too. The team at Boss Retirement Solutions in Seattle offering a free retirement tax savings analysis. No obligation, just a clear look at how much you could keep. Give the Boss team a call. They are at 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350, Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
We are going to the Super Bowl!
In the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple 1-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. Dayandnight.net. Save $1,700 when you have Day and Night match your current furnace with a qualifying AC or heat pump.
Your furnace is lonely all by itself, but it doesn't have to be. With our Matchmaker Special, we'll match your furnace with a perfect air conditioner or heat pump to keep your furnace company and your home comfy all year round.
Match your furnace to a qualifying cooling system and save $1,700.
Dayandnight.net. Esta canción que canto, amigos, es una más.
Experience the iconic Mexican music group Bronco at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, February 28th at 8 p.m. They've sold more than 20 million albums and performed for audiences all over the world. Now Bronco is bringing their modern take on regional Mexican sound live to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Tickets are on sale now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. The search continues as Renton police look for a suspect following a deadly shooting at a small grocery store last night.
The shooting happened at a Mexican grocery store on Northeast 4th Street across from the cemetery. Police say an argument inside the store escalated into a physical fight and then gunfire.
At that point, we called in our canine, and Guardian 1 was available to us. So Guardian 1 flew the area. The canine did, unfortunately, an unsuccessful track.
KIRO 7 reports a suspect ran away after abandoning a vehicle a few blocks away. Authorities haven't said if the victim and suspect knew each other.
New video shows a 75-year-old Seattle woman recovering after a violent attack outside the King County Courthouse. Prosecutors say Jeanette Markin was hit in the face with a board that had a screw on it, breaking her nose and cheekbone and causing permanent vision loss in her right eye. Her son says he's grateful witnesses were there to help.
It's like he went for the kill. This could have been avoided completely, and I shouldn't have happened. We have even teared up, like just knowing, like I thank God, honestly, like there were good people there when it happened.
A GoFundMe's been set up to help with medical costs as she continues to recover.
Super Bowl is just days away. Today, all about the 12s on Blue Wednesday, and part of that is wearing the right swag.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to start things off with the latest headlines.
Yeah, and all week we've been playing music from different teams, stadiums around the NFL to get you in the mood, get you pumped up, get us in the football mood. Well, breaking news, everyone. We have uncovered what the New England Patriots apparently are going to be playing when they run out of the tunnel on Sunday.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's right. I have multiple sources.
I call fake news.
Not that I disagree with it, but...
Today we are celebrating you, the 12s, the greatest fans in the world. And we've got some fantastic 12 stories lined up for you today. If the Seahawks... they're getting ready. They're in full practice mode down in San Jose. It's all but confirmed, though. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak will be the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after the Super Bowl. When asked about it, Coach Mike McDonald said, quote, "It's bittersweet." That pretty much says it all. So in order to be a 12, what do you have to have? You got to have a great attitude, of course, but you got to have some merch. I hope you're watching on the YouTube feed. So I'm wearing the hat right here that all the players are wearing this week. That was my first pickup this week, but if you don't have a Seahawks jersey or some other swag, good luck. Things are selling out so fast. Now, also on the YouTube feed, I wanted to talk about this real fast. Have you seen the Seahawks Super Bowl jersey? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let us know in the text line. Some criticism about what it looks like, something out of NASCAR. Look at all the patches here. I'll explain the patches. And I want to ask you guys. So you've got, as Blitz is displaying it, Super Bowl 60 logo right there, a patch that celebrates the 250th anniversary of the United States, and a third patch to celebrate the Seahawks 50 years in the league. I mean, what do you all think about that?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a special day. Wear the patch.
And that's going to be really sought after, really difficult to get that jersey right now. This run, though, on merch has been great for local businesses. I recently spoke with Tyrese down at Pro Image Sports across the street from Lumen Field. Now, bad news is I talked with him before. They were just broken into the other day. We were running news stories on it. Thieves stole some $50,000 worth of jerseys and other merchandise. That's how much demand Hawks gear is in right now. Well, Tyrese told me about the sales during the NFC Championship.
Oh, man, we broke records. It's something that we were prepared for. We knew it was going to be a busy day, and we staffed up.
JSN is the big seller so far. Jerseys, anything JSN related. He also told me they had fans come in from all over the world this week.
Definitely have some people from Germany who were in town, who've been lifelong Seahawks fans and couldn't wait to come to this game. Like, they knew they couldn't go to the Super Bowl, but they knew they could come to this game.
Meanwhile, Simply Seattle Vice President Jake Smith tells me, they've been cranking out some really cool new designs created by local designers. One of those includes
Mike McDonald's post-game comments when he said that, we did not care.
We did not care. It's always been about us and what we do. And now we're going to the Super Bowl. All right.
Yes, we are, Mike. Hey, Seattle police estimated there were about 100,000 people in downtown Seattle for each playoff game that we had here. No official numbers, but that and the upcoming World Cup could mean millions of dollars for retailers. That's great news as well. All right, coming up this morning, again, we are celebrating the 12s. Thanks for all that you do. It's 6:30. We're going to head down to Santa Clara, and we're going to try to get into the game. We don't have tickets, but you know what? We've got some advice from one guy, a 12, a diehard, and how we can get in and how we can get in on the cheap. He's got a 4-step process. It's going to be a fantastic story. You're going to want to hear it.
How does this time travel thing work?
Yeah, we're not really going there, but we're going there in our mind.
That's coming up at 7, right?
Is it?
Yes.
What time is it? 6:30 now. I'm in at 7. I'm Seahawk crazy right now.
We're all kind of like that. It's just a little bit of a scatterbrain
thing. Time stood still.
A man who's on top of everything, space, time, the continuum, is Chris Sullivan.
And quantum mechanics, if you want to go there. We're looking at drives now of 50 to 55 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, the drive we've gotten used to. About a 10 or 15-minute delay for those drives. By the way, if you're trying to get to and from I-5 right at 145th, we've got a crash on 145th just east of I-5 that's causing some issues. That's right there through the construction. Looking at northbound 405, Renton to Bellevue, and now up to 25 minutes, and we're getting closer to 50 from Puyallup to Renton. Federal Way to Seattle, we've got about a 45-minute trip for you. The lake bridges are quiet. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Clouds this morning, but sunshine again for the afternoon. Same deal tomorrow and Friday as well, with highs around 60. Saturday, things are going to change. Here comes the rain again, 54. It'll be wet on Sunday, too. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy at 51.
Time for the opening bell report. New census data shows a wide gap between the richest and poorest neighborhoods in King County. Seattle Times columnist Gene Balk reports 20 census tracts now have a median household income above $250,000 a year. Most are on the east side, Medina, Bellevue, Mercer Island, 2 in Seattle, Laurelhurst, and Montlake.
At the other end, 13 neighborhoods have median incomes below $50,000. 7 are in the U District, where students skew the numbers, but 4 other low-income tracts are in Pioneer Square, the Chinatown International District, Bitter Lake, and Northgate. Pioneer Square had the lowest median income outside the U District at around $35,000.
IKEA opening a new store in Redmond next Wednesday, but don't expect meatballs or a maze of furniture. The small format location at Redmond Town Center, just 2,700 square feet. Compare that to the Renton warehouse, which has nearly 400,000 square feet. This one is a planning hub where you work one-on-one with staff to design projects, place orders. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, there's no restaurant, retail, no same-day purchases. It's only IKEA's second location in the Seattle area.
Outdoor retailer Eddie Bauer is expected to shut down every store in the U.S. and Canada as it readies a Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing. This is according to the Business Insider. The company will keep its online manufacturing and international operations running. The 106-year-old Seattle brand has struggled for years, filing for bankruptcy in 2003 and again in 2009.
What's your favorite place to buy groceries? Well, nationwide, a lot of people weighed in. Here's CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Maybe it's the viral mini totes. There's a new ranking of shoppers' favorite supermarkets, this one based on voting by more than 30,000 customers. According to the American Customer Satisfaction Index, Trader Joe's has surpassed Publix as number one for the second year in a row with 86 points. Publix scores 84. Texas-based H-E-B gets just one less to take the bronze. Next is Costco. Target rounds out the top 5. Sam's Club, Aldi, and Whole Foods all make the top 10. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
What's with those totes? You see people sell them on eBay
my mother-in-law,
for like $1,000
yeah,
or something?
she was so excited to get some.
Yeah.
She bought one for herself, and she gave one to one of her family members.
They're a big deal.
Very excited.
From what store?
Trader Joe's.
Oh, never been to a Trader Joe's.
What?
I think you'd find some stuff you'd like.
Maybe.
so.
I don't even know where one
That
is.
is the
on
least
north end.
surprising thing I think I've heard all morning
Guess
long.
so. All right, trading's underway on Wall Street. The Dow is up about 262 points right now, 49,502. S&P 500 up 8 points, and the Nasdaq is down 22.
When it comes to your dog's meals, what you don't know can hurt them. Not getting the right nutrients can cause issues such as broken bones or heart trouble. Before you take their diet into your own hands, KIRO 7's Monique Ming-Lavin is taking a closer look to help you weigh the best option for your pet and your wallet. Plus, One Vet shares what could help your pup live into their 20s. Thursday night at 5:30 p.m. only on KIRO 7 TV.
It's 6:40. What's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the drive, especially Linwood down through Bothell on 405. We'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
This is what it's all about, right?
We are going to the Super Bowl.
The pure joy.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Super Bowl, baby, let's go!
And Sunday, when history is written in Super Bowl 60, isn't there only one voice you want to hear tell the story?
The one-hander, JSN!
Wherever you are on Sunday, listen to Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, live and free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Get ready, because it's here. The first huge public online auction of the year from James G. Murphy Company, February 5th through 10 a.m. Thursday, February the 12th. We're stacked and packed with a vast assortment of heavy construction equipment, trucks, trailers, and more, like 17 excavators, 6 dozers, including a 2012 John Deere 700K XLT, 4 wheel loaders, a grader, a 2021 Kenworth T270 propane delivery truck, a 2023 Volvo Auto Transporter, 6 Peterbilt 567 tractors, 6 dump trucks, forklifts, boom lifts, loaders, graders, and utility trucks. But wait, there's more. Like over 100 unused gas-powered excavators, flatbed trucks, and on and on. We are on fire with gear. Preview all items Tuesday and Wednesday, February 10th and 11th at our location in Marysville. Do not miss the first huge public online auction of the new year. Check MurphyAuction.com for all details. MurphyAuction.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
At 6:43, we check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we are looking at a very heavy day, but nothing out of the ordinary for those of you dealing with the grind coming down from Linwood to Seattle or to Bellevue. For 405, it's bumper to bumper right there from Linwood all the way through 522, already up to an hour from Everett down into Bellevue, which is about 15 minutes slower than it should be. I-5's a little faster, but not by much, about a 52-minute drive from Everett down into Seattle. From Linwood down into Seattle. So, just the days there that we're used to. Northbound for I-5, Federal Way to Seattle, under 45 minutes, which is great. 50 minutes up the Valley Freeway as we see brake lights there right from about Highway 18 up into the Kent area, and then definitely from 180th on in. Rented to Bellevue is about 25 to 28 minutes. The lake bridges are quiet, and we're still working with this crash right there by the Jackson Park Golf Course, right there at the north end on 145th, right just east of I-5, causing some pretty significant slowing in that area. That's a pretty big arterial in the morning. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast today, Thursday, and Friday, pretty much the same. Clouds early, sunshine for the afternoon, and highs around 60. Overnight lows in the low 40s, and then it looks like a pretty wet weekend. The rain begins on Saturday and continues Sunday with highs back down to the low 50s. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Coming up, we're going to speak to a retired FBI special agent about the search for Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got three options. Number one, sell your home. Two, get a HELOC or refinance. Or three, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have two choices: handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:48. The desperate search continues for Nancy Guthrie, mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie.
A ransom note is being investigated by law enforcement. Now the FBI is getting involved as the search spans throughout Arizona.
Let's get the latest now from Jennifer Coffindaffer, a retired FBI special agent and law and justice contributor for News Nation. Where do things stand this morning, Jennifer?
Well, right now we have a lot of information, actually. We know now that her Apple Watch disconnected from her pacemaker at 2 in the morning, so that's narrowing down a timeline. We also know, per photographic evidence, that there are blood drips that lead from the house in a trail-type manner out of the front door. And we also know that the Ring or Nest camera, it seems, was either removed or destroyed during the situation. So it looks very pre-planned.
And we got word of a ransom note yesterday. Several media organizations received one. What do you make of that?
Right. 3 media organizations. And honestly, what I make out of it is we see this in missing cases all the time. You have predators that write these notes and they hope for some money and money to be sent. But I think at the end of the day, they're going to prove to be bogus, but law enforcement will have to follow up on those.
What's the latest on a possible suspect?
Well, I can tell you, I believe very firmly that this is somebody that Nancy Guthrie knows, somebody that she's close to. So they're going to be focusing in on family and who could gain from her death.
Your colleague, Ashley Banfield, on News Nation last night said that one of the suspects is a family member of Nancy's. Are you ready to go that far, or are you still analyzing?
I'm still analyzing, but I'll tell you what, Ashley Banfield has amazing sources, and I can't think of one time where her source information misled. So I'm definitely still digging, but it makes a lot of sense.
What do we know about what they've taken from Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson?
Well, I think what's most interesting is what they've left behind. In other words, her cell phone was left, her medication that she literally can't go beyond 24 hours without risk of death was left behind. And that's really concerning because now we're on day 4 and she hasn't had any medication.
Based on your experience, Jennifer, as a retired FBI special agent, how much more complicated does a case like this become when there is such media scrutiny of it?
It doesn't become more complicated. Honestly, no matter what you do, you're looking at it through the lens of, I've got to take this case to trial. And there's no more scrutiny that you could have in a case than a judge and a jury. So because of that, this media scrutiny, even though it's sort of out of order, it's not coming during the trial, it's coming before, you're going to do your case the same.
What's happening behind the scenes right now? How do they move this thing forward?
Well, the biggest problem in the way is that some of the providers, apparently, per the sheriff, have not been providing the information they need. And this particularly pertains to videos. Also, there was an issue with the lab, so they had to change labs. So some of this information is just coming in late, and I think that that's why we're seeing a delay in an arrest.
Last time we had you on was during the search for Travis Decker, the man who had killed 3 of his children. And you actually had some very prescient thoughts and observations that it turned out to be true in terms of how the search was conducted and the search failures, really. So give us some inside baseball here. What are maybe some observations that other people aren't thinking about that you have noted in this case?
Well, what I found very interesting was yesterday there was a police helicopter. There were, again, trucks that seemed to be involved in searching, again, right around that house. And I found that very salient. I truly believe that, like the Travis Decker case, that they're not convinced that they might not have missed something. And so it seems to me they're recombing and recanvassing those areas, researching. So I think that's very important.
All right. Well, retired FBI special agent and law and justice contributor for News Nation, Jennifer Coffindaffer. Jennifer, please join us again, especially for your insight on cases like this. Truly appreciate your time this morning.
No, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. It's 6:53. We need to get to traffic now. We do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
And we're running on 20-minute delays out of the north end. We've got an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, with 50 of that from Linwood. Really heavy away from 405 and I-5 there, working your way down. Looking at Everett to Seattle of about an hour, with 40 of those minutes from Linwood, so not too bad. Now, if you use 145th to get over to I-5, we've got a crash just east of I-5 there on 145th that's really kind of making a mess out of trying to get to the freeway or off of it, so just be prepared. Again, that's a little off the freeway. Federal Way to Seattle, 45 minutes, so faster than normal by about 8 minutes there. The Valley Freeway, really heavy out of Auburn and then loosening up, and then you hit it again at the north end of the north end there by 180th into downtown Renton. You've got, as I said, 45 to 50 minutes on that drive. And then Renton to Bellevue, the S-curves are active, but further north of that, it's not too bad. Going to need about 28 minutes to make the drive. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy. No issues even through DuPont today. Tacoma itself is quiet. A couple of brake lights up the hill to 18. And then Federal Way to Seattle, I gave you across the lake. We're looking really good. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Forecast calls for a high of 60 in Seattle, partly sunny, mostly sunny the next couple of days, again with highs topping out at 60. Showers by the weekend. Right now in Seattle, it's 50 downtown.
Is it game time yet?
Not game time yet. Patience, Manda.
I think I've been asking that for the past month or so.
And honestly, Manda's doing this behind the scenes. It's not just on the radio. She walks into the station. Hey, is it game time yet? Nice to see you too, Manda.
I'm a little excited. Sorry. Super Week is underway in the Bay Area. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has an update on how the Seahawks are getting ready for the big game.
And we'll also speak with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna, breaking down why Washington's Supreme Court will have 4 new justices this year, some of them handpicked by the governor instead of voters. That is coming up at 7:15.
Our inbox is always open for your news, tips, and story ideas. Just go to mynorthwest.com.
And you can also weigh in on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476.
Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
We are going to the Super Bowl! In the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
If society collapsed tomorrow, how long would your family last? If you run out of food, probably not very long. That's why over 3 million American families trust My Patriot Supply for preparedness. Right now, you can get their best-selling 3-month food kit for $100 off. It's 3 months worth of real, hearty meals that give you 2,000 calories a day and last up to 25 years. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com to get your 3-month kit for $100 off. The discount won't last long, so go to MyPatriotSupply.com today. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
4 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. ICE presence in Minnesota is about to shrink.
I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today.
President Trump's border czar Tom Homan has just spoken in Minneapolis, crediting local law enforcement's cooperation for the shift. He says federal agents will be returning to more targeted operations. CBS News contributor Samantha Vinograd.
That is a shift from what they have been doing over the last several months. Typically, ICE engages in putting together actual targeting packages for specific individuals prior to making an arrest. In Minneapolis and other places around the country, instead, they've been doing more at-large sweeps in civilian neighborhoods.
Homan says 2,000 immigration agents will remain in Minnesota, and the president's goal of mass deportations will continue. ICE is set to release another elementary school student detained in Minnesota.
2 weeks before federal agents detained 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father in Columbia Heights, they picked up 4th grader Elizabeth Zuna and her mother on their way to school. Tracy Zhang, a social worker for Columbia Heights schools, watched Elizabeth's father cry after his wife and daughter were taken away.
And those are images you do not forget.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz urged ICE to stop targeting schools and their students.
None of this is normal. None of this is okay. None of this makes Minnesota any safer.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Still no break in the case of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show's Savannah Guthrie. The elder Guthrie was abducted from her home in Arizona last weekend. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Tucson.
Investigators confirmed that DNA evidence was found inside that house. They are right now testing that at a state lab. They don't know who the suspect is. They don't have a person of interest. There have been no one who has been arrested. And right now, that's why they're leaning heavily into the video and digital evidence in this case.
Tough times continue in the news business. The Washington Post, owned by Amazon's Jeff Bezos, began massive layoffs this morning. According to the AP, they involve a third of the staff, including the paper's entire sports department, some overseas journalists, and others who don't work in the newsroom. AP says the changes were announced in a Zoom meeting with staff hosted by the executive editor. No comment from the Post. Tens of thousands of homes and businesses in the Southeast still have no heat after 2 powerful winter storms. Sarah Brooke Bishop is with the Northeast Mississippi Electric Power Association.
Our crews are having to cut their way into some neighborhoods and some county roads to even be able to work on the power.
The Dow is up 163 points in early trading. This is CBS News.
Take control of your financial life. Follow and listen to Money Watch with Jill Schlesinger on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
7:03. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic on the threes.
And we have settled into a typical Wednesday across the board, which means heavier than normal traffic coming down from the north end because of the loss of the express lanes. We have about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, 50 of those minutes away from Linwood, so behind schedule by about 15 minutes on that stretch there. Coming the other direction, Federal Way to Seattle's running 5 to 10 minutes faster than normal at 45 minutes, so really not too bad. A little bit of braking past the West Seattle Bridge, but nothing you can't handle. Northbound 167, Puyallup to Renton is about 50 minutes now. We have 30 of that out of Auburn, so into the red just a couple of minutes. We have the brake lights there past Highway 18 and from 180th on up. Renton to Bellevue is actually faster than normal, 25 minutes for the drive there, which is great. Across the lake, no problems. 16, 18 looking really good. Olympia to Tacoma, a nice freeway speed drive. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoff gear, custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online. Enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Democratic state lawmakers are now officially proposing a 9.9% income tax on people who make more than $1 million a year.
Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson.
We have a broken, upside-down tax system that we have been stuck with for 90 years. We have a generational opportunity in front of us to change that trajectory.
And Republican Senate Leader John Braun.
As I read it, this is a tax that starts with a certain group, prioritizes past due entities, so very much, in my view, an attack on small and medium-sized businesses that are going to damage our economy.
Governor Bob Ferguson says the income tax proposal is a good start, but he can't support it as written.
A significant percentage of the revenue must go directly back into the pockets of Washingtonians.
He says right now only about 7% or $230 million would go back to citizens. Ferguson says he wants the working families tax credit program expanded so more people qualify.
A Renton bus driver is accused of taking more than $50,000 in workers' comp while secretly working 2 other jobs.
Prosecutors say the 67-year-old claimed he was too injured to work, even as he earned about $33,000 each from King County Metro and We Drive You Seattle. He pleaded not guilty to first-degree theft and faces up to $20,000 in fines and possible prison time if convicted. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
Seattle police continue to search for a suspect in last Friday's fatal shooting of 2 Rainier Beach High School students. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The Rainier Beach community is still reeling over the loss of 2 young lives, and at the same time, the community is stepping up. Charles Davis owns C. Davis Texas Barbecue, and he started a GoFundMe account to help the family through a very difficult time.
I just wanted to do my part, try to raise as much money as I can to help pay for food and then pay for funeral services.
Nearly $7,000 has been raised. If you'd like to help, search Supporting Families After a Seattle Tragedy on GoFundMe. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. It's 7:07 on your Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a Blue Wednesday.
That's the way you work it.
The day after Blue Tuesday. It's February 4th already.
I want my Hawks on TV and radio.
What do you want for free?
The Hawks.
Look at them yo-yos over there, all right?
Look at them yo-yos, also known as Patriots.
That is Nick Krasia at the control room, picking the music, running the board, and keeping us all on track. And I'm Charlie Harger, your Manda Factor.
Indeed. Thanks for being with us. Coming up this hour of the show, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna will weigh in on the way our Supreme Court justices are appointed and potential legal pushback to Washington's proposed income tax.
And in the 735 commentary, agree with the income tax bill or not, there's one aspect of it that can't be refuted. I'll reveal that in about 30 minutes. minutes.
It's 7:07. Well, momentum is building for the Seahawks on their march towards Super Bowl 60.
Today is all about the 12s, fans who have turned every game into a home field advantage.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to get 12s to the big game, even if you don't have a ticket.
Yep, the countdown is on, everyone. And listeners, hey, we want to hear from you. What does being a 12 mean to you? Hit us up on the text line. Being a part, of course, of being a 12 is tailgating outside Lumen Field, and then inside all that great music they play to set the tone. You ever wonder what music they play at other stadiums?
I hear the train a-coming, it's rolling around a bend.
Love the song. I don't know about football, but the Tennessee Titans sometimes play the Folsom Blues by John and Cash when their players run out of the tunnel. You know, you might have the blues if you don't have a ticket to the game. More on that in a moment. The tickets, though, are the Seahawks are settling in, that is, to practice down in San Jose, getting ready for the big game. Coach Mike McDonald could become one of only 6 head coaches to win a Super Bowl in their second year on the job, including names like Doug Peterson, Mike Tomlin, Brian Billick, Joe Gibbs, and Tom Flores. You know, Coach Mike this week has been asked 4 times about whether he'd run the ball on the goal line late in the fourth quarter, and listen to his answers as they went progressively.
Best play available. Is beast mode in the backfield? I think the more important question is how many times am I going to get this question over the next 3 days? I'm kind of done answering this question.
Right? All right. The Seahawks are still issuing tickets, by the way, to season ticket holders. Amanda, did you get any calls from the Seahawks yet?
No, I did not win the lottery.
Well, a friend of mine just got notified yesterday.
Ooh.
So they're heading down. So, you know, there's still hope. The average ticket price, though, on the resale market has dropped. That's good news, from $9,000 for the cheapest seat to around $5,000 on average. But, you know, try to get one. All right, you're going to love this because we're going to help you get one. We talked with Casey McNerthy, who is a diehard 12. He's also a spokesperson for the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. So over the years, he has developed a 4-step process for buying tickets on the cheap. For instance, he paid just $20 to witness this great Mariners moment.
Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit. Here is Junior to third base. They're going to wave him in. The throw to the plate will be late. The Mariners are going to play.
That was Edgar's double that sent the Mariners to the 1995 ALCS. All right, here you go. Step 1. It's coming, I promise. Casey, give us step 1, please.
Set the amount of money that you want to spend. And so that way, you know what you can realistically do. You don't make a rush purchase.
Yep. Step 2, be outside the stadium where luck can hit you. Step 3, then, is not to panic if you don't get a ticket right away.
Don't freak out if the event has already started. There's still time for the prices to go down. And it might take into the first quarter or the second quarter or the third quarter for you to find a ticket.
And then finally, step 4, you have to have a winning attitude. That is something great is going to happen. You're going to get a ticket. I mean, the point is you've already followed steps 1 through 3, so what's the worst that could happen?
You go down to San Francisco and you end up just watching the game, you know, on someone's phone outside the stadium. At least that way you still have all the Seahawks fans as they come out that you get to party with.
Right? I mean, it's all about celebrating a great time and an adventure with your fellow 12s. If you do go for it, we want to hear about it. Would any of you go for it? No, maybe not.
I wouldn't want to spend that kind of money and not watch the whole game. Waiting till the game starts.
I mean, the good thing is you can listen to the game on the KIRO Newsradio app. You can listen to Rabel. You can listen to Wyman. So you're going to have the game in your ears anyways. And yeah, like Casey said, you might get lucky.
See, you might have a great adventure. Casey also told me this has worked at Husky games, at Sonics games. So, try it out. If you do, let us know. All right, coming up at 7:30. I recently met a pretty special 12. Patrick Tafoya has been battling stage 3 cancer while his wife is in the hospital battling heart disease. We're going to share what the Seahawks mean to him. That's coming up.
Okay, and real quick, Luke, what are your plans? When do you head down there?
So I am going to be here tomorrow as well. And tomorrow's theme, we're going to talk about predictions, all of them, from everyone. And then I head down Thursday. And I'll come to you live from San Francisco Friday morning.
Been to a Super Bowl before?
I've been to 2 Super Bowls, covering one as a journalist.
Excellent.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, Luke. It's 7:12. Time to get a check on the weather. We head over to KIRO 7 TV pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard. And Nick, we were talking with Scott Sistek. He even agrees this weather's kind of weird this week.
It is. It's really weird. I mean, for the most part, we are way above average. I'll give you an example. Right now, we're around 49 degrees, and when you finish, the high normally is around 49. So at the end of the day, we're typically around 49 degrees. And and we are there right now. Thanks to all the cloud cover, we never really cooled off, and it's just going to be like this throughout the day, getting up into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Clouds or any fog that we'll see will clear, and I expect it to be a beautiful afternoon. Just take a little while to get there. Still mostly cloudy at noon, turning partly cloudy later today. And then after getting to 58 to 60 today, we'll just do it again tomorrow. 58 to 60 tomorrow, and I think you'll be morning clouds, afternoon sun, same pattern. I think you'll see the same thing on Friday, although Friday should have a little more cloud cover overall. And then into the weekend, we're going to see some pockets of rain returning during the day on Saturday, and then Sunday looks wet. So we're dry and warm for a couple days. Then we have the rain returning Saturday, Sunday. The good news is by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, well, there isn't a ton of moisture out there by Monday, Tuesday. Snow levels will be closer to 3,000 feet. So we're going to cool off the way we need to for this time of year and end the weirdness.
All right, Nick, thank you. 50 and cloudy outside the studios off East Lake in Seattle.
7:13, that's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and here's Sully.
And we have our first crash of the morning. This one is westbound on 512, trying to get over to Parkland. It's right before Waller Road, so plan on some delays through the area. Going the other direction, heading down to Puyallup, down the South Hill isn't too bad, and then Puyallup to Renton is running right around 50 minutes. Renton to Bellevue is up to 28, so they're getting close to a half an hour there. Federal Way to Seattle running faster than normal, under 50 minutes on the drive there. Coming down from the north end, we've settled into the daily grind. Away from Linwood on 405 down through 522, a 50-minute trip from Linwood on down to Bellevue. For I-5, it's a nice, good freeway speed drive till you get down to about 175th, and that's where you hit the wall. About 50 minutes as well from Linwood down into the Seattle area. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Main event powered by WFC February 6th. Only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
It is now 7:14. Washington's Supreme Court is set to see another shakeup, with Justice Barbara Madsen announcing her retirement this week.
So once again, it'll be up to the governor to appoint a justice to take that open spot. That makes, by my count, 4 spots opening this year.
Let's get some legal perspective from former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
Rob, the latest retirement happened right after I done a commentary talking about this. Give us a perspective here. Some of these spots will be filled by an appointment from the governor. Others will be running for election. What should we as voters, as citizens of Washington, make of this?
Well, what we're seeing is a long-term trend in our courts in Washington, not just at the state Supreme Court, but at the superior courts and the courts of appeal, where justices or judges run for election and then they run for re-election, which means, hey, I'm asking the voters to have an opportunity to serve for another 4 years or another 6 years in the case of the Supreme Court. And then many of them resign before the end of their terms. So they throw the decision of who replaces them to the governor instead of to the voters, and then that person who's appointed, as Justice Mary Yu's appointee faces now, stand for election, but they stand for election as an incumbent. So it's a very different situation than where someone finishes out their term and the voters get to decide who will replace them without an incumbent in the office.
Do you have issues with the way we do things?
I think that it's concerning that even though from the beginning of our state's history we decided we want to be able to elect all of our judges, that what used to be a very occasional event, a resignation midterm, has now become a regular feature of our judicial system. And that, if you're running for election to another term, then you're telling the voters, yeah, I'm going to finish this term. Now, if you give up your seat partway through to run for another office to seek another opportunity to serve, I think that's different. When you're running and then resigning just because you find it's most convenient for you to leave, that's not what you told the voters you were going to do. I think voters might react differently if they knew someone was running and did not intend to finish their term when they sought re-election. There's actually been polling on this that indicates that a very large majority of voters do not like this practice of running for re-election and then not finishing a term.
And this is important because the court has some big cases they're going to be considering in the coming years, including what's almost certainly going to be the state income tax going in front of the Supreme Court at some point in the coming years.
Oh, that's exactly right. And in your column, Charlie, you pointed out other major decisions of recent years, like the Blake decision, which threw out all the simple possession drug convictions. I think you also noted that a majority of justices currently serving on the state Supreme Court were appointed originally, not elected originally. And, looking across the state, there are very large numbers of Superior Court judges as well who fall in that category. I think at one point recently, the Spokane Superior Court featured 2/3 of judges who had been appointed by Governor Inslee, originally not elected. So this has just become accepted practice. And, as you noted in your opinion piece, it kind of takes some of the democracy out of this process, which is baked into our Constitution.
Speaking with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna, Rob, what would be the legal reasoning behind a challenge to the proposed income tax on millionaires?
Well, in 1930, voters of the state amended our Constitution's definition of property because they wanted the property tax to reach more than just farmland and residential property and commercial buildings. They wanted it to reach intangible forms of property too, like stocks, bonds, and other forms of income. The Supreme Court has consistently, over a series of cases over many decades, ruled that this broad definition of property clearly encompasses your income because the Constitution defines property as everything, tangible and intangible, subject to ownership. Well, income is part of everything. It's an intangible, and I think we all believe we own our incomes. And so you can have a tax on income in our state, always have been able to have one, so long as it follows the rules for property taxes, which means it can be no higher than 1% per year, and it has to be uniform, it has to be a flat tax. Well, proponents of income taxes have for many decades tried to get around that they try to get around it by passing income taxes that don't amend the Constitution. And then they've tried, to do it the right way 4 times by sending constitutional amendments to the ballot that would exclude income from that definition of property, which is how other states with broad definitions of property have been able to enact progressive income taxes. Every time since the mid-1930s that an income tax measure has gone to the ballot, it has been defeated by the voters, including all 4 proposed constitutional amendments. And the fact that the legislature sent 4 constitutional amendments to the ballot is a pretty clear indication that it's understood that income is property, and for a progressive income tax to be enacted, you need to amend the Constitution.
So a few key words were added after I read the draft last week. Words that didn't appear in the draft last week do appear in the bill. And I just want you to weigh in on this. At the very end of the bill, the words, "The tax imposed in this act is necessary for the state support of the state government and its existing public institutions." That sounds innocuous enough, right?
Oh, it's there for a very specific reason, because the proponents of this income tax do not want the tax to go to the ballot as in a referendum measure. As you know, we have initiatives, we have referendums. A referendum can subject any law passed by the legislature to a public vote. But in the Constitution, measures passed by the legislature that are necessary to the budget are not subject to referendum. So they put those so-called magic words in there to block a referendum. So in order to repeal the income tax, you'd have to, collect even more signatures, get an initiative on the ballot, and then get people to vote, yes, I don't want an income tax, which is, a little bit confusing for voters. With a referendum, it goes to the ballot, and if you want the income tax, you have to vote yes. It's much easier to get people to vote no. The proponents of the income tax know that, and they don't want this measure to be subject to a referendum challenge in the fall.
Just about out of time, but how difficult is it to change the Constitution?
You need 2/3 of the state legislature, both the House and the Senate, and then a simple majority of the voters. So it's not easy, but it's also been done many times. It's how we have our current definition of property that's so broad today. It was the result of a constitutional amendment in 1930. It's something that's where we've had it's something where we've had 4 chances to amend the Constitution to exclude income from property because the legislature was able to muster the needed supermajorities. So is it hard? Yes, but it's not nearly as hard as amending the federal Constitution.
All right. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna joining us this morning. Rob, thanks for your time. Oh, what's your Seahawks prediction?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't let you go without that.
I think we win by at least 10 points, but I also think it could be conceivably even the kind of blowout we saw when we played the Broncos. I just think our team is that much better than the Patriots. So I'm going big here, guys. Going all in.
Go big or go home.
You should see the cringing going on in this studio. The fear of the jinx is real.
Oh, come on. Let's have some confidence and not be superstitious. We've got a team that's peaking in momentum. We got the best offense, the best defense, the best special teams. And, the Patriots, God bless them, they played one of the weakest schedules in the NFL last year. All the arguments. And this has the feel that we had when we went into that game against the Broncos and blew them out. So not predicting a blowout, but I think we're going to win by double digits.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna, hopefully not jinxing anything.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
7:23. Let's head over to Sully at the traffic desk.
And we're up to an hour and 20 now from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, so 15 to 20 minutes behind schedule, but what has become our average now as we work without the express lanes in the southbound direction during the morning commute. For I-5, the brake lights don't begin until you're south of 175th today, but then kind of extend down towards the Ship Canal Bridge. For I-405, it's right there from Linwood down through 522. There's a little bit in Totem Lake as well. 99 definitely filled in southbound now from before Green Lake down across the Aurora Bridge. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour behind that. We've got about a 55-minute trip to go from Puyallup to Renton. However, I've been getting reports that there's some debris in the road on eastbound 512 right at the 167 transition, and maybe a couple of people have popped their tires. So I'm trying to get more information on that. And we do have the left lane blocked on westbound 512 getting over to Waller Road, and we have a couple of mile backup there, so plan on at least a 10-minute delay trying to get from Puyallup over to I-5. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our oddly warm weather continues, up around 60 for today, tomorrow, and Friday as well. Overnight lows in the low 40s. The rain returns on Saturday. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Coming up, Luke Ducey with the latest on the Seahawks run to the Super Bowl, and in the 7:35 commentary, the millionaire tax, the income tax, is not an emergency, no matter what lawmakers in Olympia say. Commentary coming up.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
We are going to the Super Bowl!
And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO Newsradio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Ever notice how everyone has their own idea of clean?
Yeah, your clean desk still has 3 coffee cups.
Yeah, but clean energy is simple. It means no carbon emissions.
And that's what nuclear energy delivers, while providing steady, reliable electricity.
Those big white clouds above a nuclear power plant? Just water vapor, like warm breath on a cold day.
Nuclear energy provides 10% of Washington's electricity, all without adding carbon to the air.
Learn more at energy-northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Is your home uncomfortably cold? It might be because most windows and doors have a huge influence on your home's comfort. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards, which can help reduce your energy bills by up to 30%. Combined with our leak armor installation and lifetime warranty, the investment in your home will be protected for life. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've been sitting in traffic long enough to finish a podcast and question your life choices, it's time to flip your trip. Ride transit. Find a park and ride or roll past stress on a bike or scooter. Free yourself from traffic jams at flipyourtrip.org.
Olympic Hot Tubs celebrates Seattle's star team with a massive blue and green savings blitz. Champion level wellness at winning savings on saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges through Sunday. Go to olympichottub.com. Better you, better life. Go Seattle.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:31. Well, the countdown to Super Bowl 60 continues, and today we're celebrating the 12s.
However, there is one 12 who will be watching this Sunday with even more purpose.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to share his story.
Yeah, I recently met Patrick Tafoya. He's a lifelong Seahawks fan, and now he is battling cancer while his wife is in the hospital and she is battling heart disease. What is it like to be diagnosed with cancer? For Patrick Tafoya,
it was surreal. I didn't want to believe it.
It felt like far more pain and uncertainty than anyone should ever be asked to carry.
We just took it to prayer. We had friends praying for us.
Last year, numbness in Patrick's hands and fingers led to surgery to replace the discs in his neck, which kick-started a lengthy recovery, which continues today.
I'm limited in my lifting of anything.
In October, his wife Maria was hospitalized, diagnosed with congestive heart failure and type 2 diabetes.
She's got some heart issues that we have to tackle.
Then, just weeks later, a doctor told Patrick he had prostate cancer. Stage 3.
It's just been a pretty crappy year. My wife could see. She knew that I was worried about it, and at the same time, I was worried about her.
Life is cruel sometimes, and other times it depends on how you look at it.
3 tight ends in the game for Seattle now.
Patrick tells me the Seahawks playoff run has inspired them to heal and to beat cancer. Every Kenneth Walker touchdown
He goes in!
is a distraction from what has been a dark place at times. And every Sam Darnold pass, but especially if it's the Jake Bobo.
I really like Bobo.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Jake Bobo!
That is a ray of hope.
It was always a relief to watch a Seahawks game and just to leave our trouble behind for a few hours.
A tear rolled down Patrick's face when he told me that. Because he tells me he will cherish Super Bowl 60 a little more than most 12s.
The things that my wife's going through and having to worry about her at the same time.
And this Sunday, every cheer and every smile will be a brief escape from the darkness, and they will carry a deeper meaning than ever before.
Love you guys, and bring the Super Bowl back to us folks up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, let's hope they do. You know, Patrick will begin his radiation therapy down in Oregon in the next few weeks. That's where he lives. That's going to happen after the Super Bowl. He is confident he will beat cancer. Patrick, we are all thinking of you and your family.
Thank you for sharing his story.
Yeah, it's a fantastic story to share. All right, coming up, a pair of 12s who are crushing the internet with their Seahawks-inspired dancing. Maybe you've heard of them. They're doing it on their lunch breaks. Love that story.
Stay tuned.
It's 7:33. Chris Sullivan has traffic for us.
And we're up to about a 4-mile backup now on westbound 512, trying to get from South Hill over to Waller Road into Parkland and then over to I-5. The left lane remains blocked for this crash, and we are looking at about a 15-minute delay minimum trying to make that drive from Puyallup over to the I-5 corridor. Eastbound 512 has been pretty heavy today down the hill and through the transition to 167 northbound. We have something over on the right shoulder there, just away from that transition. And then you have about a 52-minute trip from Puyallup up into Renton. Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. 50 to 55 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Brake lights in the usual places, but again, lighter than normal because of the express lanes and no forced merge in the morning. Coming down from the other direction where we don't have the express lanes, we're dealing with about an hour and 5-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. Those are both about 20-minute delays. The lake bridges, though, are still in good shape. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen. Main event powered by WFC February 6th only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Well, our spring-like weather streak continues. Clouds this morning, sunshine for the afternoon, and a high around 60. That'll be the case through Friday. Rain increasing on Saturday. It looks pretty wet on Sunday, too. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 51 degrees.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. Lawmakers in Olympia introduced their income tax on millionaires this week, a 9.9% tax on individual income above $1 million starting in 2028. Democrats say Washington's tax structure is broken, and honestly, the numbers back them up. Households in the bottom 20% of income pay nearly 14% of what they earn in state and local taxes. Households in the top 1%, about 4%. Only Florida has a more regressive system. So if you're grinding away at $40,000 a year, you're paying a bigger share of your paycheck to the state than someone pulling in $4 million. That bugs a lot of people. It bugs me too. Republicans say the $1 million threshold, however, is just the opening act. And they got a point. There's nothing locking that number in. A future legislature could drop it to $750,000, then $400,000, then $250,000. Then suddenly it's not a millionaire tax. And once the machinery exists, lowering the threshold is simple majority vote in the legislature. This is exactly the kind of thing we should be debating publicly, loudly, with all the arguments on the table. Here's where I start to get uncomfortable. The bill has this clause tucked in at the end. The tax imposed in this act is necessary for the support of the state government and its existing public institutions. Those are magic words in Olympia. When a bill says that, it kind of becomes an emergency. And emergency legislation can't go to referendum. Voters can't gather signatures to put the question on the ballot. The only way to fight it would be a full initiative campaign after the law is already in effect, asking people to vote to repeal something that's already happening. It's a much heavier lift. Washington voters have rejected income tax proposals 11 times since 1932. 6 of those were constitutional amendments. Courts have struck down others. 11 times voters have said no, and now lawmakers have this written so voters don't get asked again. Oh, and here's a fun little bonus. The bill has a poison pill. If a court strikes down the income tax, the whole thing dies, all of it, including the tax relief for small businesses and the working families tax credit expansion. Challenge the tax and win? Well, congratulations. You just killed the parts everyone likes. Funny how that works. Look, I'm not telling you this tax is good or bad. Smart people disagree. But calling this an emergency, writing it specifically so voters can't weigh in easily, it feels like lawmakers who already know what the answer would be if they asked. Governor Ferguson says he can't support the bill in its current form. He says he wants more money going back to regular people, more tax relief. He says there's still time to negotiate. Fine. While they're negotiating, maybe they should also reconsider that emergency clause. This is still early in the process for this bill. There is still time to fix this. If Democrats really believe this is the right policy, they should be willing to make that case to the people who will be paying for it. Let the voters decide, unless you're worried about what they'll say. And that's the commentary for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. You can text us at the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:39. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at this crash, westbound 512, causing a really big problem getting over to Parkland. We'll break it down next.
The G and Ursula Show.
Seattle is at the top of another list.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
We are officially the most expensive city to host a Super Bowl party. As it gets more and more expensive, do you do things like, hey,
potlucks are fun. Yeah, that's normal. I have friends that'll come over and they'll bring something. Yeah. And I also got those friends that either bring paper plates or ice. Cornelius, I have him bring ice. He's a great ice guy.
On KIRO Newsradio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that. But Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Well, this is pretty fun for me. Normally, Shannon O'Kelly and I are talking physical therapy, but today we are talking First Mark Insurance. You made the call to First Mark. You took the challenge. Why?
Brock, I was looking for a local agency that I could align with similar values, and they've helped us here at IRG. They shop different plans. They find the best plan for you, the best price, the best coverage, great customer service, and great connectivity.
Did they save you any money along the way?
Absolutely, they saved us money. Obviously, here at IRG, I have several needs in the insurance industry, and they look at those needs A to Z, and they find out what kind of coverage you need, what is the best coverage, at what cost, and they're always looking to save money. And again, it's all about providing my company, IRG, great customer service.
Well, Shannon and IRG, they took the challenge. Molly and I, we took the challenge. Are you confident that your business is getting the very best when it comes to your insurance needs? If not, take the First Mark Challenge today, and it's totally free. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com, your teammate that goes to work for you. firstmarkinsurance.com.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
7:43 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we got about a 4-mile backup from South Hill all the way over to Waller Road, working your way to Parkland on westbound 512. We could crash in the left-hand lane, so pretty significant backup there, probably 20 minutes. And this is also impacting the eastbound direction right there. And we might also have just another crash in that in the backup there. So plan on delays in both directions of 512, but definitely the westbound direction has the worst of it. Going from the Valley Freeway now from Puyallup up into Renton, we've got about a 50-minute trip for you guys. We have the slow breaks through the Auburn area up past 15th Northwest, and then you have Renton to Bellevue of about 35 minutes now. We're starting to fill in definitely through those S-curves and then over the top of I-90. Federal Way to Seattle's running faster than normal, though we do have the brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge. Looks like we might have a little issue just popped up right before the West Seattle Bridge. So 55 minutes to an hour from Federal Way to Seattle. Coming down from the north end, it's what we've gotten used to without the express lanes in the southbound direction. We've got an hour and 10-minute trip from from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue, just bumper to bumper the entire way. The lake bridges are okay. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to see clouds this morning and tomorrow morning and Friday morning, but sunshine for the afternoon hours. Overnight lows in the low 40s and highs up around 60. Saturday, things are really going to change. We'll see some rain move in, 54 the high, only 51 on Sunday with the rain continuing. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 51.
Coming up, we hear some of the sounds of Super Week. G. Scott is on Radio Row this week talking to former Seahawks, and he shared some of the best moments with us. We'll have that coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
If you've been injured in a car accident, you have two choices: handle everything yourself or hire an experienced attorney. Go it alone, and you'll be on the phone with insurance adjusters, chasing medical records, fighting for lost wages, and trying to figure out what your case is really worth. Hire the right attorney, and they take all that off your plate so you can focus on getting better. Harold Carr Law Offices has a dedicated team of 48 people and more than 35 years of experience handling car accident cases right here in our community. Harold Carr Law Offices handles big cases and small ones while still treating their clients like family. Here's the difference they make. They save you time, reduce your stress, and get you significantly more money than you'd ever get on your own. Harold Carr Law Offices fights for you at no out-of-pocket cost to you. If you're in a car accident, call them right away. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr.
Adrian here from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Winter might seem like an odd time to replace your windows, but now is when you get the best deals. Our Leak Armor installation team will keep your home warm and dry while installing beautiful, new energy-efficient windows. You'll feel the difference right away. Quieter rooms, lower energy bills, and a more comfortable home.
Visit Lake Washington Windows and Doors at the home shows to get 20% off, plus 12 months, same as cash financing. Or go to lakewashingtonwindows.com.
I'm Chris Davis, former King County prosecutor and founder of the Davis Law Group in Seattle. If you've been injured in a crash caused by impaired or drunk drivers, there are special considerations that need to be taken to protect your legal rights. Davis Law Group's team of investigators and lawyers know how to properly investigate DUI crashes and identify all parties who might be legally responsible for your injuries and damages. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 or get my free book at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the roads you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included in every tire we sell. It's more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's all about you getting more from less. Stop by or book an appointment at leschwab.com.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It's 7:48. What do you think, Charlie? Shall we talk Hawks?
I think that might be a good use of our time this morning.
Well, the party has started down in San Jose in the Bay Area ahead of Super Bowl 60, and KIRO News Radio has you covered. G. Scott is on Radio Row this week, hearing from some big stars and former Seahawks, too.
Yeah, let's get started with this. G sat down with legendary Seahawks quarterback Matt Hasselbeck, who talked about the Hawks' road to the Super Bowl.
If you're asking me who the two best teams in football were this year, it was the Rams and the Seahawks. That's just a fact. Anybody with eyes can tell you that. The Rams were the real deal. I mean, MVP quarterback play, two incredible wide receivers, good tight end play, a really stout defense, terrible special teams, but we won't talk about that. But really, it doesn't matter. Like, this is the Super Bowl, and you better bring it with everything you got, or you're going to go home feeling, listen, I lost Super Bowl 40 to a wild card team that people said shouldn't have been there. They ran a double reverse pass. Antoine Randall L. threw a trick play to Hines Ward. Like, there was stuff like that. We gave up a huge run. We didn't play our best on offense. There were some other things that didn't go our way. And so it doesn't matter if you were the 1 seed in the NFC. You better bring your A game if you want to hoist that Lombardi. And I think that's got to be the message, because the Patriots are really good on defense. They spent a ton of money on the defensive side of the ball. They remind me a lot of the Seahawks on defense. And they've got an offense with a ton of upside. They haven't done it yet. They got a home run hitter in Travion Henderson. Drake May, you're not going to find a bigger fan of Drake May than me. He gets loose with his running ability. They don't have a deep team, but they've got a talented team.
Okay, Hasselbeck is one of my faves of all time. However, he should not have said, "We want the ball and we're going to score." Just my humble opinion. G also caught up with former Seahawks tight end Luke Wilson on Radio Row, who gave his thoughts on the matchup between Seattle and New England.
I really hope we win. I think we're going to. But I really hope for the 12's sake we get this, especially with what happened, a decade ago, 11 years, whatever it's been. I really hope we win. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Will this, if they win, will this help you and some of your teammates?
No, but there's a but here. There's a caveat. I think it'll help the fans. I don't think it'll help the guys on the team. Like, I'll be happy for Seattle. I obviously love John Snyder. I the whole front office, everybody in the building. I'll be thrilled for them. But I'm thrilled for the fans. I do think it'll help a little bit.
Plus, ESPN football analyst Mina Kimes gave her thoughts about the game and the Seahawks.
I have them winning. I should start by saying that. I think it's been a legitimately surprising season on offense. I thought this would be a top 5 defense, arguably the best defense in the NFL. But I think offensively, I didn't know what to expect. Obviously going to Sam Darnold, but also beyond that, new offensive coordinator, switching out receivers, just a lot of change. I didn't know if they'd be able to run the football, and that offensive line has been such an issue for them for so long, but it seems like they've figured things out along with some help, and I think that's a big part of why they're here.
Mina, you're the ultimate professional. Is it hard to hold back your fandom of the Seahawks?
No, honestly, not really. I think maybe when I text my family, though, because they're pretty invested and pretty nervous.
We're going to have a lot more from G on Radio Row throughout this week. And you can see video of G walking around the Bay Area on the KIRO News Radio YouTube page.
Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but Seahawks merch is becoming harder to find. The company says Seahawks fans are buying jerseys at nearly 4 times last year's pace, creating widespread shortages. KIRO 7 spoke with Seahawks superfan Christine Raquel, who says She's frustrated after days of searching for her son's favorite jersey.
Brayden is 13. He's in 8th grade. This is the only thing he's been talking about all year that he's been wanting. K9, Kenneth Walker. I've been at the team store for 5 days in a row, and I've been coming to all these shops looking for it, and that particular jersey is so hard to find.
I might be wrong, but I think they restock on Wednesdays, and today is Wednesday. Local sports shops, employees say popular items are selling out almost immediately. Retailers advise fans to watch for those restocks or expect higher prices on resale sites.
For one local photographer, the assignment doesn't get much bigger than this. Seahawks team photographer Rod Marr is in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl. Marr, who also used to work for the Seattle Times, tells the Jake and Spike show he's never forgotten this piece of advice from his mentor.
A writer gets 17, 20 inches of type, to tell the story. He goes, you get one picture, you get 1,000th of a second. So find a way to always tell a story. And that stayed with me my entire career.
He says he's always thinking about the background of the picture because that helps him tell the story.
A Marvel superhero will introduce your football heroes at Super Bowl 60.
What's up,
Yep, that's Seattle's own Chris Pratt. He's excited. He often raises the 12th man flag. He's going to do the honors for the Seahawks. And even though he's from New Jersey and not Boston, John Bon Jovi will introduce the New England Patriots. 3:30 kickoff Sunday. You'll hear it all here on KIRO News Radio.
I mean, they can't get Ben Affleck or
Right?
somebody known for being from Boston?
Apparently not.
John Bon Jovi. Okay. 7:53. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And we've got problems in both directions of 512 down in the Puyallup area. I'm going to start with the bigger issue, which is westbound. We have the left lane blocked for a crash approaching Waller Road, and we're backed up 4 miles all the way back to before the off-ramp to South Hill. Going the other direction, we have a pretty lengthy backup down the hill and through Puyallup until you get to the 167 ramp northbound. That's where the right lane is blocked as they are working with what appears to be a pothole that did some damage to a couple of cars. Either way, so that general part of our map is really messed up at this point. The rest of the drive is not bad. Puyallup to Renton is under 50. Renton to Bellevue is about 35. That's right where it should be. The S-curves are active, but you get a nice long gap. And then Federal Way to Seattle, as I got brake lights at the north end part of that drive. We've been dealing with a stall just north of the Boeing Field and south of the West Seattle Bridge. Overall, 55 minutes there. Lake bridges are good. Coming down from the north end, we're setting in with the normal grind, hour-plus drive from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue, 15 to 20 minutes behind schedule. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, according to multiple sources, Bon Jovi is a longtime fan of the Pats and often goes to the games.
Oh, okay.
I did not know until now.
You're a longtime fan of the Seahawks and often go to the games.
It's true. So maybe I should be doing something.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll be telling you about the weather right now. Clouds this morning, same deal for tomorrow and Friday, but afternoon sunshine and highs around 60 all 3 days. And then things are going to change. We'll get back to more normal for this time of year. Rain picking up on Saturday, rain likely on Sunday with highs back to the low 50s. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 51.
Well, we heard from him just a little bit ago. We're going to check in live with G. Scott with Super Bowl coverage. He and Luke Ducey will be talking about Super Week in San Francisco.
Also, our legislative update with Jerry Cornfield at the Washington State Standard. A bunch of bills set to die today for the session's first cutoff. He'll give us a preview of those coming up at 8:15.
We are going to the Super Bowl!
In the home of the Seahawks, KIRO News Radio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio.
Hi, I'm Jen from Sky Nursery. If you're like me, you're itching to get out in the garden and get your hands in the soil. So check out Sky's full schedule of gardening events to help you get ready for spring. Learn about pruning fruit trees, tips for roses, a 2-day Wonders of Willow festival, hanging basket workshops, and more. Want to grow your own vegetables? I'll be sharing insights from 2 decades of veggie gardening in the Northwest. Anyone can do it. Learn more and get ready for spring at skynursery.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill and stressed because your consumer debt and monthly payments are too high? Well, Brock Hewitt here with a smart solution. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than ever. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. Consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate your high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines of credit, and student loans, or get cash for a remodel. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt now may be the best decision you ever make. With excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington for over 25 years, Tila has competitive rates on refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call Tila Mortgage today, 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
TilaMortgage.com. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
4 more days until Super Bowl 60. The only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. Days after taking over the federal operation in Minnesota, Trump border czar Tom Homan says a quarter of the immigration enforcement officers sent there will be removed.
We will draw down 700 people effective today.
Homan says that will leave about 2,000 agents in Minnesota. He says they've made significant progress working with state and local officials to arrest undocumented immigrants.
This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement.
Holman says those with criminal records are still the focus, but
if you're in the country illegally, you are not off the table.
He says agents have taken hundreds of people accused of homicide, assault, and sex crimes off the street.
Everybody should be grateful to that.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
To Washington, where CBS's Nicole Killian reports a final funding bill for Homeland Security still to be hashed out after the agreement to end the partial government seized in a federal search last week. Now to Arizona and the investigation into the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. CBS's Andres Gutierrez has more on notes that have emerged.
Officials confirm that there are details in that note that have specific details about Guthrie's home as well as what she was wearing the night that she vanished. But they're not confirming whether those details are accurate or whether the note is legitimate. Investigators are also aware of a ransom message that was sent to TMZ demanding a large amount of Bitcoin for her safe return. The sheriff's office says that these messages are being treated as leads, and so far they have not said publicly that they're dealing with a confirmed kidnapper.
A federal judge in Florida today will sentence Ryan Ruth, the man convicted of trying to assassinate Donald Trump in 2024. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
The court will hear arguments regarding the appropriate sentencing range and will consider the nature and circumstances of the offense, the need for deterrence, protection of the public, respect for the law.
The Washington Post has eliminated its sports department and slashed overseas coverage in a round of deep layoffs, cutting a third of all staff. Wall Street, the Dow is up more than 200 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to the official 48 Hours After Show post-mortem on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's 8:03. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And keeping my eye peeled down in the Puyallup area. Both directions of 512 are really messed up this morning. I'm going to start with westbound first because it's unusual to see this kind of a backup. We have a crash blocking the left lane approaching Waller Road, and we have about a 4 mile, maybe 4.5 mile backup that begins about halfway up the South Hill, going all the way over through the area. So big time delays there. In the eastbound direction from South Hill, about 4 miles all the way down to 167, we have a sizable backup there because the right lane is blocked on that transition from eastbound 512 to northbound 167. So we have about 20-minute delays in both directions of that highway, one in each direction. So not exactly pleasant because everyone's kind of trapped there going northbound from eastbound 512. We have a pretty okay drive from Puyallup to Renton, running right around 50 minutes. Then Renton to Bellevue is 35. S-curves are normal, and then you hit it over the top of I-90 into Bellevue. Federal Way to Seattle running 8 to 10 minutes faster than normal. We've got about a 50-minute trip there. Across the lake, no problems, and then we're dealing with our typical hour and 5-minute trips from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. For nearly 50 years, 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance. Right now, save up to $2,000 on new heating and cooling systems. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
It's 8:04 on the Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
State Democratic leaders have unveiled their proposed income tax on millionaires.
People making more than $1 million a year would be subject to a 9.9% tax. Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson says this is a chance to overhaul to what he calls the state's broken tax system.
To make the whole system fairer, providing revenue for the investments that we know our state wants and that our community needs.
Contrast that with what Republican House Leader Drew Stokesbury had to say.
Republicans have been warning that this was part of Democrats' plans to remake the state for years. It turns out we were right.
Governor Ferguson says the income tax proposal is a good start, but he doesn't think it goes far enough.
Governor Ferguson says he and Democratic state leaders agree that Washington's tax system is upside down, with working families paying a higher share than the state's wealthiest residents.
My focus will be that we are listening and hearing the voices of many, many Washingtonians who are struggling right now.
The plan eliminates age limits on the working families tax credit, but Ferguson wants broader eligibility and bigger checks. And it includes sales tax exemptions for hygiene products. Ferguson also wants them for essentials like diapers. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
The search continues as Renton police look for a suspect following a deadly shooting at a small grocery store Tuesday last night, authorities say. Shooting occurred at a Mexican grocery store on Northeast 4th Street across from the cemetery. Police report an argument inside the store escalated to a physical fight, then gunfire.
At that point, we called in our canine, and Guardian 1 was available to us. So Guardian 1 flew the area. The canine did, unfortunately, an unsuccessful track.
Police tell KIRO 7 they have not revealed if the victim and suspect knew each other.
A 75-year-old Seattle woman is still recovering after a stranger attacked her in December. Prosecutors say Jeanette Markin was hit in the face with a piece of wood with a screw, causing serious fractures and permanent vision loss in her right eye. Her son says she's now out of the hospital and staying strong. He spoke with KIRO 7.
You never expect something like this to happen. She's a warrior, she's strong, but this is not something that everyone can can go through. Honestly, she was this close to being murdered completely.
Seattle police and paramedics arrived quickly, and witnesses helped officers arrest the suspect nearby.
Melinda French Gates is speaking out after newly released Epstein files included references to her ex-husband, Bill Gates. In a clip from NPR's Wildcard podcast, she said seeing his name in the documents stirred up difficult memories.
For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away, and I moved on.
Overnight, Bill Gates said to Australian media that he was foolish to have had any interactions with Jeffrey Epstein. The Gates representatives have dismissed the allegations as false.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
It is 8:08. Good morning. Blue Wednesday, February 4th.
That is Manda Factor. I'm Charlie Harger. Sully's in the studio checking traffic on the threes. We've got producer David Burbank. Nick Krasia is behind the glass. And this is what I get to thinking, Nick. For you, is looking at us on the other side of the glass area, is this kind of like a fishbowl for you? Like you...
It's like a zoo. You know, I'm looking in and I get to see all the animals, you know, do their thing. And I'm like, oh, what's that over there?
You want to provoke a reaction, you tap on the glass.
Yeah, okay. But I don't want you guys to get too angry at me.
Okay.
Well, I don't think that would even be possible to be angry at Nick.
Well, in just a moment, we're going to be speaking with Luke Ducey about Super Bowl 60 preparations.
Also, our legislative update from Jerry Cornfield at the Washington State Standard.
And what to expect for the remainder of the winter weeks, we'll hear from meteorologist Scott Sistek.
Right now, back to the Hawks. Super Bowl 60 now within reach. The Seahawks are riding a wave of energy fueled by the 12s.
And today we're celebrating Seahawks fans everywhere. First, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest team news.
Yeah, the Seahawks are getting into their routine down in San Jose, California. Media Day has come and gone. The team is now practicing at San Jose State University every day. And for the players, it's time to get down to business. Ernest Jones shared what is inspiring him this week. You know, his dad recently passed away, and he was asked what his dad would say to him this Super Bowl week.
He told me he was proud of me. He always knew what that did to me, just knowing that out of anybody in the world that he was proud of me, it motivated me. So
yeah, it's a great message right there, and can only imagine what he's going through this week. Let's get this Blue Wednesday, however, going, shall we? We have the best fans in the NFL. Everyone knows that. We have the best stadium, the loudest stadium, and our stadium music is always rocking, best in the league. But what about other teams? What are they playing in their stadiums around the NFL? I see Sully bobbing his head. I knew he'd love this. Nothing like some sticks early on a Wednesday morning. So this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers play during their fourth quarter rally. Not bad. The song's called Renegade, if you didn't know, which is the perfect name for our next story about a pair of Renegade 12s. Lanisha Smith, who goes by Isha, and Melissa Melly Turner created the internet sensation Break Room Chronicles. Have you all heard about this? No? You haven't? A lot of people have. We're going to try to play some of it for you on our YouTube feed. You got to check this out. So they work at a local grocery store in SeaTac, and what they do is they choreograph and record videos like the one you're about to see on their lunch breaks. For those listening, they're wearing Seahawks costumes. Sometimes they use props like pom-poms and flags, but sometimes they use food. I've seen them whip out pancakes and take a bite during their routine. You know, Isha tells me this is how it all started.
We started during COVID. So we started on TikTok. I always just dance in my living room. I would do videos on Facebook and Instagram. So I would just do dance videos by myself, solo.
Well, now they have, get this, hundreds of thousands of followers on all their platforms, but 700,000 followers on their TikTok channel, Break Room Chronicles alone. Melly says they have celebrities following them too.
With Instagram, there's a lot of celebrities on there, and a lot of celebrities have liked, commented, reposted, followed us. Yeah. And so it's very exciting.
Yeah, how cool is that? So we're not going to mention the brand name of the grocery store. It's a national brand. Just know that. It's a big store. But that store and that chain, they are 100% supportive.
They do love us, and they love the fact that we're blowing up, and they love that we're getting the publicity and everything, and they really do have our back.
So we couldn't see the video on the YouTube channel, but I have a story on mynorthwest.com, so we're going to get that to you. I'll put some on a link on my social media channel as well, at Luke KIRO. Charlie and Manda, because they record these on their break, and actually they talk to me in their interview during one of their breaks as well. Well, they don't get a lot of rehearsal time. They got to whip these things out, but they are you never know it. They are just fantastic, and their hope is to dance someday and sing at Lumen Field. So let's hope that happens. All right, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Did you know there are a lot of celebrities who are Seahawks fans? I know you probably know a lot of them, right? You don't know all of them, so take some guesses. But we're also going to tell you which celebs are cheering for the Patriots. And we're going to do that so you can cross them off the list forever and ever. We'll have that coming up in the next half hour.
Well, in that report, Luke, you had me at pancakes.
Pancakes, baby.
Nothing
It's
says
funny.
football like
it's
pancakes.
really funny.
It's 8:12. Let's get a check on the weather. Here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
A lot of cloud cover this morning. We have a mix of high clouds and some areas with some fog, but I expect the clouds and the fog to lift, and then we are just going to see some partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Highs that'll easily get to about the upper 50s and lower 60s. Really going to be a beautiful day. So knowing that, we'll say about 58 to 60 tomorrow. Same thing, some areas of clouds early, then beautiful sunshine. And on Friday, I expect the same plan, although a little more cloud cover. Into the weekend, we see some rain increasing during the day on Saturday, and then on Sunday, it's just wet for sure and much cooler. In fact, next week looks cooler, back into the 50s, and I don't know that we'll be all that wet to start the week, but by the end of the week, we will be, and that's really good news for mountain snow, because say by Monday, Tuesday, your snow level's back around, say, 2,500 feet to even 3,000 feet, so we definitely are going to cool off next week.
Right now in Seattle, it's 50.
And it's 8:13. That's time for traffic around here. We do that every 10 minutes. So what's on your mind, Sully?
Well, first I've got some breaking sports news for those of you in the Big Sky.
Okay.
Apparently losing to your arch rival twice in the season and then watching them win a national championship is enough to chase the head coach of Montana out. Bobby Hauck out, retiring. He's the all-time winningest football coach in the Big Sky. It just announced right now. So some big goings on.
Sorry, Grizz.
The delight in your voice.
So big news in Missoula and in the Big Sky. I know a lot of kids here, have their futures there going to Big Sky. So big news in football there regionally. Looking at our roads right now, as I get back to my regular job and away from Schadenfreude, we look at westbound 512 with very heavy brake lights, about a 4-mile backup as you go over past Waller Road out of South Hill because of the left lane being blocked for a crash. We have about a 4-mile backup in the eastbound direction of 512 as well because of a crash right at the transition to northbound 167 in the right lane. Rest of the map, about average. Federal Way to Seattle, 50 minutes. 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue, about 35. And out of the north end, we have an hour and 5-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue. We've gotten used to our 20-minute delays with the new lane configurations across the lake, no problems. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. Main event powered by WFC February 6th, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
8:15, we are in the thick of a 60-day legislative session in Olympia. Today is a big day for lawmakers. A lot of bills are set to die on the floor of the House and the Senate. Joining us now is Jerry Cornfield from the Washington State Standard.
Jerry, good morning. Before we get to those bills, let's talk about the new bill proposed by Democrats for an income tax against millionaires. What are your takeaways?
My takeaways is there's a lot of pages to read, and there's a lot of details, and it's interesting that they're doing it in a short session. So as we heard yesterday, the version that was unveiled and discussed by all parties isn't going to be the version that comes out of the legislators. A lot of negotiations. I mean, two things stuck out to me. First, I'll go right to the very end. They attached a necessity clause, which works the same way as an emergency clause. So if they pass a bill with that on there, it cannot be sort of rolled back through a referendum. If the voters want to block it, stop it, they're going to need an initiative of some sort, either an initiative to the people this year or an initiative to the legislature next year, which might even be too late. So That's a tactical move. And then there's a surcharge for some of the state's largest businesses. It was put on last year. Companies with over 250 million in annual revenues. It was used to balance the budget. They now want to shorten it by 1 year. That's about $600 million that'll go back to the businesses and is going to have to be covered by this. I think that's a little more, it's kind of not under the radar at the moment, but there's going to be opposition to that provision as this goes forward.
Jerry, the governor's office is saying this is something that is very much he's interested in, but it's just not there yet. What kind of influence can we expect from the governor in this process?
Well, he's been involved from the beginning, he and his staff. They knew what was going on. They had a meeting yesterday in a couple hours. He is going to be meeting with the House Democratic Caucus. I think his calendar said 10:45. I'm sure that'll be a topic. I mean, this is his second year. He's more active in this legislating process. And I think so. He'll have influence. Obviously, the governor, he can veto anything. He was throwing around numbers yesterday, talking about the percentages he wants and then the tax cut for businesses, how much he wants. So those are the elements he'll bring to the table. One of the things, though, I would say is he's still learning exactly how to make the pieces move and come together, how the numbers work. So his staff is going to be doing a lot of educating of everybody of what to get. But they're going to be on the same page at the end, right? I mean, this isn't something that's going to fail at the end because the governor wasn't happy with the size of the tax cut for businesses. I don't think it's going to be. It just wants to make sure it can, embrace it publicly.
We mentioned that this is deadline day. What do you expect to end up on the cutting room floor?
Oh gosh, a lot less work for those of us who are down here. I mean, yesterday what happens is they're on a calendar, a lot of these controversial bills, and then they just don't get voted on. So my colleague Jake voted on a story about the bill that would have banned cities and counties from hiring law enforcement officers who were hired to work for ICE after the Trump administration. So that one did. There were a couple of big hearings last week in education. One of them would have required parents who they would have to sign a declaration if their child's not in by age 6, and that's not getting a vote. Some online alternative learning programs, there were going to be stricter restrictions on them. That bill had a hearing. That's not anywhere. And then there's ones that haven't even got hearings. There's a lawmaker in Southwest Washington wants an audit of the I-5 bridge replacement project.
Jerry,
billions of dollars.
Oh, you cut out just a little bit there. I hope we're still getting. I wanted to ask you, though, a little bit of a civics lesson. What happens after these bills die? Is there any possible way they could come back later in the session, or are they kaput for now?
There's two real ways. One is just the leadership says, no bill is actually dead till the very end, right? They could find another home for it, another legislation. They could tack it on. The more common ways to deal with some issues is to write what's called a proviso into a budget. So there may be a bill to study something, it's not passed, but then the budget, they put the language directly into there. And so that's where that's where you have to watch. It might show up late.
Also happening today, a rally or listening session for initiatives in the state. When it comes to initiatives, what are you watching for?
Well, I mean, the Democrats said, no, we're not going to consider the two initiatives that citizens signed, over 400,000 for each of them, one dealing with transgender athletes and one dealing with parental rights. So yesterday there was a rally and about 100 people showed up, so not huge. But at the same time, they then stuck around and went to these two, essentially Republicans organized two hearings for them to speak. So they were public. They called them listening sessions because they were not formal and official in a committee hearing room. But I think it's going to go to the ballot. And as I understand, the one that would ban transgender athletes from girls' sports, this might be the first time in the country that voters will decide. Elsewhere, more than 24 states have enacted them through their legislatures.
We'll be following that. You and your colleague Jake Goldstein-Street have both been following a handful of bills addressing the Keeping Families Together Act. give us an idea of the state of play for all of those bills, which are moving forward.
Well, I think that, like the legislative process, there are hopes at the beginning for big change, trying to change this young children under the age of 5 being exposed maybe to opioids and fentanyl and not being safe. In the end, there's going to be some tweaks around the restrictions. They're going to involve the judges more in oversight, and they're going to try to be more responsive and interactive with families to detect earlier do we see signs of trouble at home that we need to intervene, or can we just, is that intervention one where we can help the parents do a better job? So I think there's just going to be, everyone is paying more attention. When you talk about something like this, it's so serious. You talk about it out loud. Everybody pays more attention.
All right, Jerry, we got to put you on the spot here because this is the last time we're seeing you until next week. A score prediction for the Super Bowl.
Okay, this is the problem. I left my 49er Super Bowl victory hat at home. So I am not a Seahawk fan. However,
come on, just for the weekend.
I've been saying that it could be about 40-9 Seahawk victory. Ooh. I think this is going to be like the Denver game. I think that the defense is so dominant. The offense is so powerful. The Patriots are too young at the quarterback position. So I will be surprised if it's within a touchdown.
All right. We had a listener say we need to have like a board in here of some kind that we can be knocking on wood. Yeah. All right, Jerry.
I just don't know how we brought Jerry on so much.
I don't think so.
When he's a 49ers?
I know.
fan?
Had I known.
Yeah. We'll have to have a post-show meeting, Jerry.
My hands are full of Super Bowl rings.
Goodbye.
From 20 years ago.
Subscription to the Standard.
As I like to say, you may be excused.
All right, Jerry Cornfield, Washington State Standard. Thanks for your time today. It's 8:23. We need to check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we are still dealing with issues in both directions of 512 down in the Puyallup area. For those of you going westbound, we have about a 4-mile backup from South Hill all the way over past Waller Road. That's where the left lane remains blocked for this crash. And in the eastbound direction, we've got about a 3.5 to 4 mile backup all the way from South Hill down through Puyallup into the transition to northbound 167. That's where the right lane is blocked. They're doing some emergency pothole repair right there. The rest of Pierce County, though, looks really good. Puyallup to Renton is still running around 50 minutes because it's 30 minutes from Auburn on up. It is really slow today, past 180th on up. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 40 minutes. We definitely see brake lights over the top of I-90 up to Southeast 8th. We might have a new issue there right before Southeast 8th because that kind of turned all red over the last 90 seconds or so. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive running right around 52 minutes. There are brake lights past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Coming down from the north end, the typical stuff we've been used to now. We're into week 4 of the months of hell. We've got an hour and 5-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2.
Today, tomorrow, and Friday, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, and highs around 60. Rain returns Saturday. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 49. And coming up, Luke Ducey with a look ahead at the Super Bowl on Seattle's Morning News.
A word here for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions in Seattle. You know, this is a hard one. You work your tail off for 40 years, and the government then turns around, takes 40% of your money in taxes, sometimes more. That's why the wealthy use tax planning to pay fewer taxes. But if you've saved more than $300,000, you can take advantage of these strategies too, and they can be especially powerful in retirement. And right now, Boss Retirement Solutions here in Seattle is offering a free retirement tax savings analysis, which shows you exactly how much money you could save. If you've saved more than $300,000, schedule your free analysis now by calling them 206-210-1350. Don't pay the government one more dime than you need to. Call the team at Boss, 206-210-1350. That's 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
The Chi and Ursula Show.
We going to the Super Bowl.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
I have been told about Woodstock and how it was just peace, love, and hair grease, that was the energy amongst Seahawk fans everywhere.
People were doubting Sam Darnold. He had the game of his lifetime.
The game of his life. He won 14 games with the Minnesota Vikings last season, and he won 14 games with the Seahawks this season.
Subscribe to the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel and watch live.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Have you thought about how your finances should change in 2026? Well, my friends at WaFd Bank can help. Right, Brad?
Right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. You also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank a best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me about this voice-activated banking I've been hearing about.
You can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full, which, let's face it, is probably most of the time. You'll also have access to free tools like person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, intuitive new debit card management tools to turn your card on and off, set spending notifications, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And you can choose from those great-looking Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves debit cards. So visit wafdbank.com to open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. Renton police are searching for a suspect after a deadly shooting last night.
Officers responded to a Mexican grocery store on Northeast 4th Street where one person was found dead from multiple gunshot wounds. Police say an argument inside the store turned physical before shots were fired.
At that point, we called in our canine, and Guardian 1 was available to us. So Guardian 1 flew the area. The canine did, unfortunately, an unsuccessful track.
Police are asking anyone with surveillance footage from the area to come forward.
We now know the name of one of the teens shot and killed at a bus stop near Rainier Beach High School last week. A King County medical examiner says 17-year-old Travea Houthmuse was shot multiple times. The other victim has not yet been identified. There is a $5,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest in this double homicide.
Patty Jackson is now Tacoma's permanent police chief. The Tacoma News Tribune reports the city council confirmed her yesterday with a unanimous vote. She's been serving as interim chief since last March. City leaders praised Jackson as a proactive leader who's worked to build trust with the community. She had previously spent more than 35 years with the Pierce County Sheriff's Office.
Well, we're all enjoying the unseasonably warm temperatures this week, but it raises the question, how worried should we be about the lack of snowfall this winter? Here's meteorologist Scott Sistek.
If we were still like this in mid-March, like kind of April 1st is where we declare like the peak, like, okay, this is the most snow we're going to have up there. And now it's all the meltdown from here. So if this had gone, like this current weather pattern, if it had lasted like another 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, that would be concerning. I know we just had like that record dry stretch in January that, just nearly tied the record. So it'll help. I would be worried if next week wasn't out there. But then again, we've been talking about this all winter long of like the cold air is always stuck 10 days out in the future here. And it just never gets cold. It never gets closer. So I feel like we're Lucy with the football every time. It's like, here we go. It's going to be colder. And then it's like, as it got closer, it went away or went east. I've seen plenty of cold air out there. It just all went east this year.
Meteorologist Scott Sistek from the Emerald City Weather blog, who joins us every Wednesday.
Okay, coming up, what is the question you have been asking multiple times a day, every day for the past, more than a week, Manda?
Is it time yet?
It's not.
Game time?
It's not time yet.
Darn it.
But you know what'll at least satisfy that itch?
What?
We've got Luke Ducey stopping by. He's going to talk all things Super Bowl with the Seahawks. That's coming up after we check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
And we do have a crash in the left lane on northbound 405 approaching Southeast 8th. And that is why we are backed up all the way from Coal Creek Parkway and why our travel time has gone from 30 minutes from Renton to Bellevue up to about 45 minutes. So we've added about 10 to 15 minutes to that trip. Getting reports that it might be moving off to the shoulder, but either way, the damage is kind of done. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, we're back under 50 minutes, but we continue to work with issues in both directions of 512 down in the Puyallup area. For those of you going westbound, we have a 4-mile backup from South Hill all the way past Waller Road. The left lane remains blocked for a crash there. 15 to 20 minute delay. For those of you on eastbound 512, we're backed up the South Hill all the way down through the Puyallup River Bridge and to the transition to northbound 167. That's where the right lane has been blocked for emergency pothole repair. Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 50 minutes, with 30 of those minutes from South Center. Those last couple of miles are going to be active, but not too terrible. Both lake bridges are seeing a little bit of slowing, and coming down from the north end, we still deal with hour drives from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. Both of those running 15 minutes behind schedule, but it's become normal with the lane configuration so that we've been dealing with now for almost a month. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App. Listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
As we mentioned, the warm weather continues. Clouds in the morning hours, sunshine for the afternoon, highs around 60 today, tomorrow, and Friday. And then here comes the rain again on Saturday. Looks like Sunday will be wet too, with highs down to the low 50s. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 49.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
8:35 now. Seattle is buzzing as the Seahawks inch closer to Super Bowl 60.
Today we are cheering for the 12s, the fans who never stopped believing.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a look.
I mean, everyone can feel it. Can you guys feel it? I mean, everywhere you look this week, there is a 12 flag. 12's wearing Hawks gear. You can't buy jerseys anymore because they're on back order. Check out the YouTube feed. Apparently, every storefront in San Clemente, California, this is Sam Darnold's hometown, is looking like this. Plastered with Go Hawks signs. Love it. In other Seahawks news, well, it's all but confirmed now. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak will be the new coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after the Super Bowl. When asked about it down in San Jose, Coach Mike McDonald said, quote, "It's bittersweet." Kubiak not commenting, but he did share how his faith has been getting him through this moment.
It took a really heavy load off, just knowing that, I'm a child of God.
Cliff Kingsbury being named, kind of thrown out there on the rumor mill as the next. No, I see David shaking his head. We don't like that one.
Give me some other options.
Former Arizona Cardinals head coach, offensive coordinator for the Commanders right now. He's a brilliant offensive mind. Hey, we talk a lot about the 40 whiners, right, in this town. Well, we heard last week that former Patriots coach Bill Belichick did not get voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Yesterday, it leaked that owner Robert Kraft was also snubbed. After 20 division wins in 32 years, critics point to Spygate and Deflategate as the reasons why. Barstool Sports said a little more than that.
People are also massively, massively jealous of the winning. Then you shouldn't be voting.
Are we jealous of all the winning? I mean, what is that?
No, and I think both of them obviously belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That is an insane level of winning for both of them. Despite their flaws, it was a track record of success for many, many years.
Yeah, but we all hate them. Meantime, the Seahawks are settled into practice at San Jose State University. Coach Mike McDonald could become the one of only 6 head coaches to win a Super Bowl in just their second year in the job. Speaking of on the job, he's been on it this week. 4 times this week he's been asked by the media whether he would run the ball on the goal line in the fourth quarter, and here are his answers to all those questions.
Best play available. Is beast mode in the backfield? I think the more important question is how many times am I going to get this question over the next 3 days? I'm kind of done answering this question.
Yeah, I think we're done hearing about it too. All right, are you ready? One thing we like to do here is get all the 12s pumped up, a little music on Blue Wednesday. What about the music, though, that they play in other stadiums and teams?
You make me want to shout, kick my heels up and shout, throw my hands up and shout, throw my head back and shout.
So it's a tradition for the Buffalo Bills to play Shout at every game.
If you're not the University of Oregon, you stole that from them.
We don't need to. The University of Oregon does not need your defense.
Yeah, if you just stole it, yeah.
Huh?
Just so you know.
There you go. Let's talk 12s. Let's talk 12s. There are a bunch of celebrity 12s. Can you all name any? We've got Rainn Wilson.
Sure. Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Joel McHale. Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
We got this guy.
Hello, my ace man, my mellow. John Wayne ain't got nothing on my fringe game.
Little Macklemore action. You mentioned Chris Pratt, huge 12. He will be introducing the team during Super Bowl 60. And we had him at the NFC Championship game here last week. Did you also know that this popular singer is a huge 12?
Hey, it's Brandi Carlile down here on the field. I'm so excited.
I did not know that. She's going to be singing America the Beautiful at the Super Bowl as well. And of course, a long list of others, some you may not know about, some Patriots fans you want to be on the lookout for that we can cross off the list. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Mark Wahlberg, Chris Evans, Conan O'Brien. Get them off the list. That's right. And this guy, one more, Charlie, and then we'll kick it to where we need to go next, because this guy is going to be announcing the Patriots during the Super Bowl. Which is exactly what the Patriots were doing this Sunday, living on a prayer.
All right.
There you have it.
Good stuff, Luke. Well, coming up, we have traffic. Sully, what is on the way?
We're going to take a look at westbound 512 still being a problem getting over into Parkland. We'll break it down next.
We are going to the Super Bowl! And the home of the Seahawks, KIRO Newsradio is there.
Can you believe it?
All week long, G. Scott broadcasts live from Radio Row in San Francisco during the G and Ursula Show. Weekdays 9 to noon.
It is a circus like you have never seen.
And Luke Ducey will be on the ground.
I am on the lookout for everything 12s.
From the only station where you hear Steve Rabel call the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. KIRO News Radio.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Olympic Hot Tub celebrates Seattle's star team with a massive blue and green savings blitz. Champion-level wellness at winning savings on saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges through Sunday. Go to olympichottub.com. Better you, better life. Go Seattle.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
For almost 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me, John Curley here. If comfort and energy savings matter to you, now is the time. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Home Comfort Alliance will replace your system with one tailored to your home's layout and energy optimization. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com to save up to $2,000 on a Lennox and schedule a free consultation. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
It's 8:43, and Chris Sullivan has traffic on the threes for us.
We are looking at about a 4-mile backup on westbound 512 as we make our way from South Hill over past Waller Road. That's where the left lane remains blocked for this stubborn crash. It's at least a 15-minute delay through the area. Positive news, those of you going the other direction, we have cleared the pothole repair that had blocked the right lane on the transition from eastbound 512 to northbound 167 in Puyallup. So that backup is going away. Once you get down into the Puyallup-Sumner area, it's going to be a really clean drive all the way up into Renton. We're back under 45 minutes there. Still have about a 45 to 50-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue, well behind schedule. But the crash in the left lane up by Southeast 8th is clear, but the damage is done. You got at least a 15-minute delay there. Federal Way to Seattle, about 55 minutes. Brake lights from the beginning of Boeing Field on up. West Seattle Bridge also caught up in that a little bit. And out of the north end, our new normal, hour and 5-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. 99 is really backed up today from Green Lake down across the Aurora Bridge, but it doesn't extend all the way down into South Lake Union, which is positive today. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen. Main event powered by WFC February 6th. Only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Our forecast, same pattern. Clouds in the morning, sunshine by afternoon for today, tomorrow, and Friday. Warming up to 60 all 3 days. And then Saturday, we're finally going to start to see some rain again. 54. Looks like Sunday will be wet as well. Right now in Seattle, partly cloudy and 49.
Coming up, G. Scott is on Radio Row in the Bay Area for Super Bowl 60. He joins us live next on Seattle's Morning News.
Drivers who switch their home and auto with Progressive could save money and time. Other things try to do this, but they really don't. Like the touchscreen at fast food places. It's not like you save time because it takes you longer to use a touchscreen than, I don't know, someone who works there. And another thing, you'd think it would save money because they're not paying a cashier, right? But no, same price. Also, why is there an option to tip? Who am I tipping? Exactly. Anyway, even if you can't save money and time with some things, you could with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Is your home uncomfortably cold? It might be because most windows and doors have a huge influence on your home's comfort. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards, which can help reduce your energy bills by up to 30%. Combined with our leak armor installation and lifetime warranty, the investment in your home will be protected for life. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
We live here in Washington. I travel all over the state for work.
Affordable short-term rentals help us stay together and make Hazel feel at home.
Now Olympia is considering a huge tax increase on short-term rentals,
pricing us and other families out, since more than half of short-term rentals here are used by Washingtonians.
Costs on everything are going up.
Please tell legislators not to make our trips more expensive too.
Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive. Host PAC.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, at 8:48, getting ready for Super Bowl 60.
Is it game time yet?
It's not game time yet, Manda.
Patience has never been my strong suit.
No,
I'm sorry.
clearly not. It is not a strong suit for G. Scott either. He is down on Radio Row getting ready for the Super Bowl. Good morning, G.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I apologize that you won't be seeing my face right now because right before I got ready to come on, the video, it just started tripping. You know what I mean? So I'm glad I can, talk to you, but the video part, I think what it is, I can kind of see you guys a little bit right there. There we go.
Were you going to show us cool pictures?
Hey, no cool pictures.
There you are. We see you now.
Yeah.
Looking snazzy as always.
Hey, I'm trying to look snazzy, guys. I'm trying to look snazzy. But, hey, yesterday was great. I was busy all day yesterday, and I thought I wanted to give you guys some sound for you to hear that I think is important. I caught up with Seahawk legend Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson had some things to say. Check this out.
Oh, gee, I don't have that sound. I know we heard him a little earlier. Let's see. I can pull that. Nope, I can't find it.
All right, no problem. I talked to Luke Wilson yesterday.
Yeah. I got it. You still want Luke Wilson?
Sure.
Here you go.
I really hope we win. I think we're gonna, but I really hope for the 12's sake we get this, especially with what happened, a decade ago, 11 years, whatever it's been. I really hope we win. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Will this, if they win, will this help you and some of your teammates?
No, but there's a but here. There's a caveat. I think it'll help the fans. I don't think it'll help the guys on the team. Like, I'll be happy for Seattle. I obviously love John Snyder. I the whole front office, everybody in the building. I'll be thrilled for them. But I'm thrilled for the fans. I do think it'll help a little bit.
You know what I loved about that answer? it was the most honest answer that I've heard so far from Seahawk legends and past players. I loved, like, he could have mailed it in by saying, oh, my goodness, this would be so great for the former players. This would be awesome. He was like, no, but it'll be good for the fans. And he's right. He's not wrong at all, because we as fans, we have not gotten over it. And them as players have not gotten over it. Well, we as fans have an opportunity to have that loss in Super Bowl 49 avenged. And, ooh, I need it. You need it. Everybody needs this.
All right, G, you're hobnobbing with Seahawks players all the time. How is it different being there?
The energy, Manda. And, you know, I'm glad you asked me that, because a Super Bowl is only 60 minutes of football on the field. However, a Super Bowl is way more than the 60 minutes on the football field. It brings everyone together. Even if you're not a fan of the Seahawks or the Patriots, you're still invested in this game. It doesn't matter what culture you're from, what background, what political affiliation. It is bringing everyone together. And down here right now in the Bay Area, everybody is talking about one thing. It's the big game that's getting ready to happen. Everybody is excited. Whether whoever you believe is going to win or lose, that doesn't matter. Everybody's connected, Manda and Charlie, on this one game, and the energy's crazy. The streets are crazy. Like, it's starting to fill up. It's Wednesday morning right now. I noticed this morning that it took a little longer to get my coffee than it did yesterday. I said, oh, people are starting to really get in town right now. Okay. But, hey, just so you guys know, the Seahawks, hey, Seahawk fans, they be here representing, baby. Come on now. Hey, I had somebody call from across the street. They said, hey, gee, Scott. I said, oh, man. You know it's packed if they recognize me. I'm just a little old guy out here. You know what I mean? So it's been great.
I love it when they be representing, G. My question for you. My question for you.
Don't try that again,
I know Sully scratched his head at that one.
So you spoke with, I think he's your favorite Seahawks QB of all time, Matt Hasselbeck. That was a fun interview to listen to. Who are you still hoping to get in the days ahead?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to have Jermaine Kearse on the show. Might as well talk to him. And, you know, I could sit here, like, there's been some other folks that I've interviewed and talked to that I'm probably just going to leave for the reset and the podcast. I think for the listeners, that KIRO listeners that are listening to our station, I think right now they want to hear from past players who played it, right? And you got the sound of some of the current players and all those things. But you really want to key into, hey, look, Jermaine, that was a big one. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So that'll happen. So I'm looking forward to talking to Jermaine Kearse. And I got a text in. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, Doug Baldwin ain't returned my text back, so I'm mad at him right now. I'm about to call him up and tell him, you take it too long to return my text the same way Charlie takes too long to return my text.
How dare you make G wait?
I know. Good things come to those with patience.
And then he always try to pretend like, oh, I was asleep at 5:30 p.m.
Well, that's kind of true, actually.
Yeah. Well, right. Manda, you look great in your Seahawks stuff.
Thank you. Got a new hat. Yeah. I'm excited.
Manda.
I see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have to stop chatting about our attire because you have to be excused. Have a great day. We'll look forward to chatting again tomorrow.
See you guys.
G. Scott, G. and Ursula coming up 9 to noon. Sully is here with traffic.
And we're closing the show with some more positive news. We have cleared the crash on westbound 512 trying to get into Parkland. So that backup is getting much, much better. So that's certainly an improvement. We've also gotten rid of all the slowing eastbound on 512 because of that pothole repair we had just across the Puyallup River. Rest of the map, we still are about an elevated 45 minutes from Renton to Bellevue after we had a crash near Southeast 8th. 50 minutes Federal Way to Seattle, and still an hour from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Simply Seattle. Gear up for the big game at Simply Seattle. Shop official Seahawks playoff gear and custom Simply original designs. Shop in-store or online. Enter to win a $1,000 shopping spree now at simplyseattle.com.
Today, tomorrow, and Friday, morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, highs around 60. It's 49 right now.
Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes joins the G and Ursula show coming up next on KIRO Newsradio.
This is what it's all about, right?
We are going to the Super Bowl!
The pure joy.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Super Bowl, baby, let's go!
And Sunday, when history is written in Super Bowl 60, isn't there only one voice you want to hear tell the story?
A one-hander, JSN!
Wherever you are on Sunday, listen to Steve Rabel call the Seahawks and Patriots in Super Bowl 60, live and free on the KIRO Newsradio app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. You're 62 or older, lots of equity in your home, and you want to pull some cash out, but a refinance or HELOC, well, it means a bigger payment. And the cost of selling your home, it's insane. So what should you do? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for Tila Mortgage. You don't need to live at a lower standard than you deserve. You really got three options. Number one, sell your home. 2, get a HELOC or refinance. Or 3, get a reverse mortgage. Tila has done the analysis and believes that a reverse mortgage is the most cost-effective way for seniors to get cash out of their homes without selling and having the option of no monthly mortgage payment. Too good to be true? No. Call today and let's compare. Tila, spelled Tila, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call today. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
3-time Grammy winner, MacArthur Fellow, a voice the Associated Press calls a marvel. Cecile McLaurin Salvant brings jazz, blues, and fearless originality to Dimitro's Jazz Alley, February 12th through 15th. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
4 more days until Super Bowl 60, the only station where you hear